Okay. Ugh, we got a lot to go over today. Because I honestly don't know how I'm going to win. I don't. I'm sort of setting myself back by picking Salvagers, but I just internally feel so burned out from 1 week of playing nothing but 40k every single day that I wanted to shut my brain off. Like, no joke. Really wanted to shut my brain off. Which, arguably, not the Votann. Like, not the Votann's strong suit to just shut brain off and play. Yeah. Because, yeah, Hearthkin Salvagers. A 10-man team. Not quite elite, not quite horde. Extremely slow moving, making it very difficult to score points, which is always fun when you have Recon as an archetype. Security is a bit more your thing. It's a little bit harder to shift them than you would expect when they're sitting in the middle point. But it's honestly not impossible. I mean, they are, I believe, only 8 health units. Double check. I mean, we'll stay down here. I got this printed out. I installed a printer literally to just get these cheat sheets printed for this tournament. Yeah, 8 health per, 9 health on the Thane. They do have a medic, but they're about as frail in terms of damage taking as an Aldari, except they do have 3+ saves. It's a little bit better. There is a realm where I think using the deployable movable barricade could be useful, because that will up them to a 2+ save. However, it does subtract 2 from their movement, which means whoever I give that to is only going to be moving 3 inches every round that they move. I also don't know how that's going to work in ITD, because you're supposed to set up that barricade within a certain range of your deployment zone. And if you're going through a door, it costs an inch to go through a door, which means I could only move 2 inches with that barricade through a door in the opening turn, which would mean I would need to be right up on that door. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I not going Jaegers? Because Jaegers at least have some mobility. They start 3 inches past their deployment zone, which is really good. Let me look up the universal gear, because that's going to be kind of important. Also, you only get 9 specialists, and the trick with this army is if you go all like the Cognitar, the Kinlink, the Locator, or the Locator, or whatever you want to call it, if you go all over here, you're not winning. 100% you're not winning. It is actually important to have warriors on the field, and we'll talk about that in a second. So the makeup of this team is a little different than what you would expect, because you most likely don't want a lot of this. Like, the Dozer's cool, but also not useful necessarily. You could throw them to a far point and then hope at the end of the round to run up to the objective if it's a kind of be on the objective at the end situation, and then push an enemy off of it, taking it. That could be useful for scoring. Field Medic, you have 8 health in your team, so it's not that bad to be able to potentially heal between 2 and 6 health. But that's if they survive whatever they're getting shot by. Or meleeed by, more or less. A lot of teams right now are melee heavy. So, like, Field Medic, great with a knife, but other than that, he's kind of going to be meaningless here. Grenadier's probably up there in potential. Jump Pack Warrior probably up there in potential. Lugger is probably almost a guaranteed take. Since we are in the new system, there are no scouting cards, which means you cannot take more deployables. You only get, I believe, the 3 that you would have access to normally. God, this is why I got to do this, because I got to look all this crap up now. Select operatives. Roll off, determine shared crits. Up to 4. Secretly selects up to 4 equipment options. Taking the Lugger gives you 5. Because there's equipment options that they have access to that you 100% want in like most situations. Anytime there's something that requires you to pick anything up, you have to take the digging gear. Anytime there is vertical information going on the field, because there is going to be a Vulcus map, I think there's going to be, they said, Vulcus Beta Decima, so I'm going to need it for those 2, is the climbing rigs. Because climbing rigs reduce climb height by 1, which ostensibly makes them the same as a 6-inch move unit when climbing. But there's so much wrong with this army that makes it difficult to play them because you have to think differently about the field. And I can show you why in a second. But yeah, Hearthkin Salvagers 9. We're going to have to really think about this. And then the way it's going to go is the units with these little stars that could either take the Bolter or Blaster. I don't have enough. I don't have enough duplicates of units to be like, oh, I'm going to use the Ion Blasters on these guys and then the Bolters on these guys. No. If I'm going into something that has a decent chunk of health and some okay armor, I'm just going to have to go, hey, all these are Ion Blasters. Or if I'm going into like Horde armies and I want to kind of lean into like the high las rotary and stuff like that, and I need to be accurately hitting things that have like a 5 or 6 armor save, we go Bolters probably, especially if they're really low health. Like, I don't know, maybe Brood Brothers, something like that. Because you don't need to kill their armor, you just need to kill them, which means you need to saturate them with hits because a 5-up or 6-up save isn't worth it. Roll a couple hits out, up some misses to hits, and you're probably good. I do have a ranged variant Thane with a with the concussive gauntlet, and then I have a sort of close range Edekarn plasma pistol and plasma weapon variant as well. So I at least have 2 of those on hand, just in case I want to go one way or the other. We do live in a world where I most likely will declare that he has the Ion Blaster. I think he can take the Ion, right? Yeah. There's a chance I tell everyone he has an Ion Blaster and the Concussion Gauntlet, and I play him back. Because you do need to keep him going. That's kind of the problem with the Thane. The Thane is so important due to the fact that he marks grudge targets. Like, he just tosses grudge out into the world. So I might actually try the ranged variant Thane for a while. At the very least, the rest of the army will soften stuff up, and then the Thane could go in and turn 3 and just, like, mess people up with that gauntlet. That gauntlet is huge. But I do think I might need to keep him back. Because this, we'll take a look at the statting, and it, well, I have it right here. Hang on. So if I go the Edekarn Plasma, it is hitting on 4s. That's not great. It's the same as the Ion Blaster. There is a reality where I should probably lean into just like general pistols, like an Ion pistol, because it is hitting on 3s instead of 4s. Bolt Revolver is kind of garbage. It has a higher crit. I guess that's not bad if you tie in the grudge markers with the 3-5 damage line. That's not bad. Plasma Weapon, hitting on 3s. A little better than the Concussion Gauntlet for accuracy. Lethal 5, better for crit rates, although grudge is something you're leaning into. And Concussion Gauntlet, basically, if targets have 7 health and a grudge token, they are dead. They are just dead to the Thane. The Thane walks in and goes 7 health. Cool. This hit is now a crit. You're dead. Which is wild. But yeah, recon and security. Let me separate those cards over here. Security. Recon. That way we can take a look at them as we go. And then let me pull up the universal. Universal terrain or deployables or whatever. Hearthkin Salvagers, universal equipment, deployable barricade. 2 inches from other equipment terrain features. Wholly within your territory. Okay, that's good. That's actually good. So that might be useful in like ITD or something, just because I'll be able to set it up on the other side of a door, then run to it. But let's take a quick look at units. Let's take a quick look. Do we want to start units? I mean, we're down here. I think equipment's down here. We can look at this. So a lot of this is just like clarifications and stuff. Nothing's really that big of a deal. You'll most likely never use Writ of Claim. Writ of Claim is kind of like whatever at this point. I mean, people get kind of like a built-in... Oh, I'm realizing YouTube doesn't have music on this layout. Hang on. There you go. The recertification for these guys for their revival function. Some basics for needing to be in the kill zone. The fact that climbing rigs are about climbing up. Too many people were saying that climbing can occur going up or down, which is obnoxious to consider. So they've started to clarify climbing up as the reality for it. And then the jump pack got, I believe he was 8 before, now he's 7, which is whatever. It's pretty garbage. Grudge. Relevant part of the first sentence, first paragraph to read. You can retain one of your normal success as a critical success instead, including any normal successes already retained as a result of the accurate... Wait. Okay, so Grudge does work off of accurate. That's something to think about. I know Rending doesn't. Like, apparently the way Rending works is Rending occurs on the retention. So if you already declare accurate beforehand, that's not the retention. Is that message that you like Rogaldorns? We have a person at our local store who tends to enjoy using Rogaldorns in combat. And he sends them up too soon. And they usually get molested by any anti-tank that exists until they die. And it's cool, like, they exist for 2 turns, but then, like, they're dead. That's a lot of focused power on damage output into some singular units. Still, though, Rogaldorns are fun. Weird that they're hollow. They don't have bottoms to them. It's awkward. So this is cool for accurate. Yeah, they just use their feet to drive them around. If you rolled one or less successes, including any rerolls, you can retain one of your fails as a normal success instead of discarding it. This is for that armor. I hate this. I hate this ploy, and we'll talk about that in a second. Once per battle, inflicts normal damage. They reduced it. Wait a second. The cards that I printed don't have any of these updates on them. I have all the erratas. Yo, this sucks. Dozer? So they didn't update the cards, but they did the update log. Where's my Dozer? I'm gonna have to write on these, which is fine. It's printed paper. Dozer, 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 Dozer. So the Dozer, additional bullet point, normal damage of 4 or more, inflicts 1 less. This is in the Brawler rule. Enemy operators cannot assist if an enemy is... Oh! Yeah, so he gained a thing. I gotta write all this down then. I cannot believe they didn't update the cards. I'll just have to add this. This isn't bad then. Dozer's good on a front line. Sort of. He's still only 8 health, which... absolutely sucks. It just adds another... If you're getting hit by normal, specifically normal damage, which that sucks, because there's not a lot of normal damage of 4 in this game. Most normal damage sits around 3. So, like, eh. Hearthcon, second sentence. Select one other friendly Hearthcon Salvager operative in... Wait a second. Kinlink. Rot defense, I understand, and it's garbage. This sucks, but I gotta mark it down. This is important to mark next to the army rule in the printout that I have. Because originally when I did this in a game, and then I looked it up, I realized I probably shouldn't have upgraded any of my accurates to crits. But this verifies that you can for Grudge specifically. That's good. What is this, though? Kinlink. This is for signal action. Select second sentence of effect change to read. Select one other friendly Hearthcon Salvager operative in the kill zone. This is one of those dumb ones where it's like, oh, you could do it to one that's off the kill zone for some reason. Operative visible to... Oh no. Oh, they made him so much better. I might need to... probably have to run the Kinlink then. Kinlink originally required vision in 6 inches. Now he just needs to be in the kill zone. I think I have to Kinlink, like, most of the time. Kinlink is not bad, though. System Jam's pretty good. Because it doesn't have a distance. It just requires them to be a valid target, and then you can stop them from doing anything. Kinlink might see a spot on my list for every game. Being able to toss 1 AP to someone is pretty good. What you up to, Fat Mans? Kill Team's pretty fun. I know a few Kill Team people who are kind of upgrading to 40k from Kill Team. I know a handful of my close friends who started Kill Team with me have decided that they don't want to do Kill Team and instead want to hyper-focus on 40k. I still think Kill Team's, like, more interesting to me. 40k is a little bit too much, like, here's my position. Let me see how you completely respond to it. And then I'll go from there. Like, I like in Kill Team the idea of I'm going to move this guy up, and then people can react to it, and then when they react to it, you can react to it, and that's just all one move. Like, all one turn. It's just more interesting to me. I know I caught Tactical Tortoise on stream once, and he was talking about things they wanted to see in 40k that would never come to 40k, and they were talking about alternating activations. In particular, that you would have like a leader, and that leader would have like a number attached to it. So if the leader activated, X amount of units could also activate with that leader before, you know, that's your activation for this turn kind of situation. It'll never happen. The moment you do alternating turns in 40k, you've officially made tournament games like 5 hours long. You just can't. So, okay, I gotta mark these on the cards that I have printed. That's fine. Here's the equipment. Yeah, you'd have to rework the whole system for that kind of thing. Supposedly, the version of the game that's epic, the what is it, Legionary Titanicus or whatever, the new epic scale version of 40k is alternating activations. So like that's kind of the closest you're gonna get to 40k style battles, but alternating activations. And it's literally because that's kind of designed to be like, this is one base, and that one base is a squad of Space Marines. If you hit a certain number when you're attacking them, they die. So it's like a whole different scale. Let's see, plasma knives. On average, if my opponent has any kind of melee, plasma knives. Even if they don't, I think you have to just take plasma knives all the time. Lethal 5 with access to Grudge is pretty good if you can spike roll. Sadly, you only get 3 attacks. This is a pretty big downside here. Especially with 4 up to hit. But 3-5... I mean, the alternative for most of the people in this army is, I think, just gun butts or whatever. Fists, 2-3. It's a pretty sizable attack spike. It makes horde armies not want to like run at you and gunk up the system because they're not going to. You're going to kill them. So I feel like these are pretty much like you have to take them. Climbing rigs on both Beta Decima and Vulcus. This is going to be a standard. I'm going to have to take this on those. You can only do it to a minimum of 2, so climbing rigs don't help you when climbing over top of barricades. Like, this is what the barricade cost is, so this does nothing. Heavy barricades, it could do something. I think heavy barricades are almost 3 inches tall. I think. They might be 2 inches. Still, though, you wouldn't want to do that just for a heavy barricade. And then, depending on my mission, pickup marker. You have to take this for any mission that involves pickup. If there's marker drops, if you take a side mission, which we'll take a look at here in a second for the TAC ops and everything. Which I should probably... There was an app for Kill Team that showed... Oh, I know what we'll do. Critical ops section. Okay. We'll go over that in a second. But yeah, if any of the missions are pickup, which let me double check the Discord for the tournament tomorrow, or Saturday rather. Sometimes they'll say what the missions are beforehand. Entry prize, TAC ops, dice, skill level. Yeah, Tomb World, Gallo, Vulcus, Beta. No smaller than 16. Must be easy to read. Using approved ops. Must bring your own copy and printout of possible TAC ops your team can use. Printouts will be checked before use. Entry is $15 at the front desk. Cool. Any other information? Someone's coming as potentially Jaegers. There's going to be a Battle Suits or Rekka's team. Inquisitorial agents, that'll be interesting. Legionaries, because this isn't a GT run. Our Angels of Death player had to drop. Tempestus Aquilans are going to go. Possibly more Rekkas or stealth suits. So there's 2 guys who are either going to Rekkas or stealth suits. Neat. And then I think someone said they're going to run Nemesis Claw. But they made it as a post and not a reaction, which is weird. Weird. What, bringing up that Salvagers aren't that good? Dude, I wish they were. I don't want to buy Jaegers. Because Jaegers are good. Like, Jaegers are actually good. Salvagers, not so great. But yeah, well, anytime I either pick attack op or a mission that requires pickup, which again we'll go over in a second. Once per battle, friendly Hearthkin Salvager operative contests 2 or more objectives. Yeah, this never take. This garbage. This is the worst. This is from a bygone era. This is from a bygone era that makes no sense anymore. Firefight ploys. You can reroll. So this is big if I can rush down someone on an objective. And this actually makes side missions interesting. Because if mission markers get set down because of my tac op, this actually helps engage to acquire. It's kind of useful. Use this firefight ploy when an operative is shooting a friendly Hearthkin Salvager operative when you collect your defense dice. Sturdy is decent. Hopefully if I'm fighting enemies, they don't really have a lot of, like, I guess, good shooting. Like, ones where critical retention is, like, insanely good. If it's just like, yeah, dog, I either hit you for, like, 3s or 4s, and I'm like, cool. And then I can spend this to just fully lower all crits to normal. That'd be nice, especially with a 3+ save. It's good to have in the pocket. I need to remember sturdy. Only for shooting though. Worth it. This is fun. This could be really good for an early game rush out, depending on mission type. Like if the mission is like kind of like loot. Do they even have loot still as a crit op? The one where you can only loot points like once. Where's my crit ops? No, secure is back and forth. I think transmission is back and forth. State claims. Control objective. Energy cells. Operatives can perform pickup marker action upon an objective marker following turning point 2. Ooh. Wait, pickup's not considered mission, is it? Nah. We're just kind of digging into it, Capelite. Yeah, pickup's not a mission action. Pickup's just an action. So I can't reduce the cost of the 2 action points down to free. So it doesn't really help me there. Download. At the enemy's turning point after the first, friendly operative control more objective markers than enemy operatives score 1 VP. Friendly operative performs the download action during the 3rd turning point. You score 1 VP. Wait a second. An operative cannot perform this action during the 1st or 2nd turning point while within control range of an enemy. Okay, so 3rd turn if I just send someone out to die on mid. In theory, if there's no one else near them and they die, I could do this action. Or I could rush someone into an enemy objective, do it. Although they'd have to be out of that objective. Data, crit op, reboot, loot. Oh, loot does exist. So if we ever play loot, like this is... Loot is the only time this firefight ploy really matters. Orbit could work if somebody kills a guy on a spot that's, you know, orbed. And then I could send it somewhere else. I don't know. This is the big one, though. Ancestors are watching. This is a way to make a character 3 AP without making them 3 AP. You just move, dash, free shoot. Or shoot, charge, free fight. This is the big one. You're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to time these really well. It's good to know that the Kinlink or whoever gives out AP doesn't need vision to give out AP. That'll be very useful for this team. But this is kind of the second way to do that, which is nice. Strat ploy, the big one, proximate firepower. From turn 2 onward is when you kind of want to use this, which means you're basically always hemorrhaging 1. You have to hemorrhage 1 command point in turn 2 and turn 3. Minimum. So you always have to have 1 on hand, because it just increases your... it says that friendly operative's ranged weapons by 1. Now, normally what this means is this doesn't involve grenades, because the grenades aren't a weapon it's equipped with. The grenades are part of an action it can have access to. So to my understanding, this hit stat doesn't universally make grenades better on the team, which kind of sucks, because even though the Grenadier exists and can use a free grenade like every turn, and that's fine, at +1 to hit, if I could proximate firepower and then have like 2 crack grenades on hand, this would be impressive. This would actually be very useful, but they're not actually equipped with those weapons, to my understanding. Let me double check the terminology for taking a grenade. Ooh, I might also have to do ammo caches. Ammo caches aren't really that good if I need to move around. I guess it depends on who I have on a backline. Yeah, utility grenades, no explosives. When you select this equipment, select 2 explosives. Each selection is a ranged weapon your operative can use, but your kill team can only use that weapon a total number of times during the battle. Yeah, they're not equipped with it. They can use it, they're not equipped with it. So that kind of sucks, because this could turn the tide of battle, having a bunch of people with potential 3+ to hit crack grenades. Because their regular damage is 3-4 with either accurate or crit pierce 1, and then you could just take a crack grenade with built-in pierce 1 on a 4-5. It would just be so much better. Saturate, making them ignore cover saves and everything, it'd be really good. But sadly, not so much. However, this does involve the Grenadier's one-off grenade that he has access to, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Whenever an operative is shooting a friendly Hearth Salvager operative in the roll defense step. Yeah, this sucks. Statistically, I hate this because you have a 3-up save, and a lot of the times you'll have cover. The only time I can think this would work is if I send a bunch of warriors onto like points that are just in the open. Then maybe you rot defense, but I don't know. They're still only 8 health. They do reduce incoming damage when they're on objectives, which is kind of a big thing. It's why I say that warriors are way more important than you would think in this list. Whenever an enemy operative is shooting against, fighting against, or retaliating against this operative contests an objective marker or one of your mission markers, and the resolve attack dice step, you can subtract 1 from damage inflicted on it from 1 success. So not only do you need access to as much saving as possible when you're standing out in the open on objectives or mission points or whatever, you kind of need this to just be like, yo, I failed 2 armor saves and I made one. I'm going to take those 2 fails and turn 1 into a success. That way you can just be like 2 successes and I drop the 1 hit that's going through by 1. Because it doesn't say a minimum. And that's kind of the trick. Not even the FAQ says minimum. So warriors just reduce 1 dice by 1 damage. And it's just 1 success. So crit or normal. Perfectly fine. It makes them very durable for 8 health. Technically makes them 9 health in that situation. Which still isn't great, but it's a little bit better than you would expect. What's up, Coolin? Toil Urns. This is a big one for the go phase too. Depending if the enemy is standing on objectives a lot, I imagine Toil Urns is bigger in turn 3 than turn 2. Because in turn 3, that's when a lot of people should be standing on objectives, making the grudge tokens a little bit more important. I don't know, dude. Why are you logging into weird accounts? Whenever determining control of that marker, treat the total APL stat friendly Hearthkins. This... I honestly don't see myself using this most of the time. Except for this. If you have... Like, that's... This is the combo with the plasma knives, is to do this as well. That way you can get 4 attacks out of lethal 5 plasma knives hitting on 4s. Which is a lot better than 3 attacks. It makes the Nux a little bit better as well. But you've... What do you have? You have the Jump Pack Trooper, the Nux, and technically the Medic and the Thane. And those would be the ones that best benefit from this. I don't know. I don't see this being important. This is really going to come down to like the end of the game. I'm going to have to math stuff out. Like if we're wildly close on AP... And then me doing this will guarantee me the victory by just being like, I shut you out. Like, you have your 2 APL guy, as long as one of my guys stays alive on the objective, you can't control it kind of situation. Maybe. But this is back in my mind. I don't think this will ever get used. The big one, proximate firepower. The secondary big one, Toil Urns. And that's it. Turn 2, turn 3, most likely turn 3. I could see myself using Engage to acquire on a needed to kill target. Sturdy, well, it's very specific situations. Worth it, There's potential with worth it, depending on the tac ops. Alright, Cobalt. Ancestors are watching, though. Huge. Huge. Ancestors are watching. Has to be the big one. Again, though, turn 2 and beyond. So right now, the format for command point generation is everyone gets 2. We all generate 1 at the top, so we start at 3. I shouldn't have to spend anything early. So going into turn 2, I should have 4. And then the 4 drops to 3. Most likely due to proximate firepower. I need to be in a good enough position for proximate firepower, though. So I'm either going to be at 3 or 4, depending on if I go first or second. And then... if I'm at 3, I only really have access to most likely 1 or 2 uses from down here. Hopefully Ancestors are watching is probably the big one. Potentially Engage to acquire. Depending, I might need to tie Worth It into... like, if one of these tac ops is kill a target, that target drops a thing next to you, and then if you die, you die. Right? Like, you're just out in the open, you kill the guy, and now you're gonna get shot. And then when you get shot, you pay a command point to go Worth It, and then you complete your mission that you need that action point for, maybe, but doubtful. Grudge, though, now that we know the update. So Thanes can mark one target with a grudge token until, I want to say, 4 of your people or 5 of your people are dead. If 3 Hearthkin are dead, you can select 2 people for grudge tokens with your Thane. Every single person that dies also drops a grudge token on someone. Grudge tokens do not vanish. They persist. I'm going to be using tiny dice to put next to people so that when they're marked, I'll just up the dice number so I know how many grudge tokens there are on them. And then, yeah, this just allows you to update normals to crits, which is fantastic. But it usually means turn 3 is your big turn. You can sometimes pick a good target turn 1 that could result in a kill pretty easily. But the risk is too great to turn 1 aim for that. So yeah, you get 1 Thane, 9 guys. Let us take a look at the people. Hearthkin Warrior. Now, the big thing in concept here is the difference between the Bolter and the Blaster. Bolter has Accurate 1, which we now know Grudge works with, due to the errata that doesn't actually update out here, which still blows my mind. Still crazy to me that the erratas down there doesn't change anything up here. So we still have to refer to the errata while also looking at this stuff. They don't actually update the card with anything. So the Warriors don't really have any updates. This is them. This is the worst part about Votann. Right here. This bad boy. This is the worst part. Like, this merged with this. The actual worst parts of playing Votann. So it used to be that I want to say that they had a 5-inch move, but they also had a faction passive that made it so if they moved closer to an enemy, they would get like +1 to move or something. They tried really hard to make this not like a cutoff point, but this sucks. This sucks so much. This is the reason you need climbing equipment in Vulcus and Beta Decima, because you can't do it. You cannot play in either of those maps without the climbing equipment. But then that makes your army equipment dependent in that situation, which is why the Lugger exists, which then requires you to use the Lugger as well, which they do give him some good abilities. We'll look at him in a second. But yeah, the big things here is into heavily armored enemies that have a good bit of health. Piercing crits. Because piercing crits plus grudge equals always AP1. Always AP1. And it's just more important than Accurate 1, honestly. Accurate 1 I see more as like you're fighting cultists, you're fighting Brood Brothers, you're fighting some bulk army that you need to hyper focus on killing a bunch of units effectively and not leaving a lot of them alive. Anything that's like 5 armor, 6 armor, probably Accurate 1. I could see the case for Accurate 1 into like Aldari, but what we were talking about earlier about the teams that are going to be there, I don't think we have any. We're looking at battle suits, probably piercing crits 1. We're looking at Rekkas, which were Rekkas high armor. Blades of Cain I could probably see going Accurate 1 over piercing crits. Potentially. Although it would probably be a better idea to piercing crits, especially if they use cover. TV, Rekkas. Rekkas are 4-ups with a decent bit of health. It is probably worth it. But yeah, it's this. If I'm on an objective or a marker, and this is kind of, again, where TAC Ops comes into play. Objective marker or mission marker. This is kind of where TAC Ops comes into play, because I think the TAC Op markers are mission markers. Like, yeah, retrieval, scout enemy movement doesn't help. Flank doesn't help. What the hell, Spotify? Yeah, Envoy doesn't help. Martyrs? That marker gain. No, Martyrs doesn't help. Plant banners. Yeah, place a banner mission marker. That's actually cool. Plant banners could be awesome with these guys. Because you plant a banner, and now you have the -1 to damage when you're within range of the banner. That could be cool. This is the lugger. He's probably guaranteed to take because now you don't have the scouting option to go up to 5 equipment. You just use this. So you can get 5 equipment. And again, they are an equipment required team. Now, this would normally suck because he doesn't get the damage mitigation of a warrior despite having the warrior's loadout. However, he can also do a mission action for 1 AP less, which means he can open doors for free in Vulcus as well as the Tomb World. He can do the on-point missions for cheap. He could plan a beacon for cheap. Like, if he didn't have this, he would be the most obnoxious you have to take it character of all time. But having free mission actions and this, he's okay. He's okay. Hearthkin Locatar. I think this is a trap. I do like this because you can technically use the radio to make it an extra 6 inches. So whenever a friendly Hearthkin Salvager operative is within 9 inches of this operative is shooting that enemy that he marks that is visible, he can make it so that Seek Light is on the weapons, which, depending on the mission, could be good. It could be very useful in Tomb. He could technically play up from the door because he would get 9 inches for his aura due to support. And he would negate obscuring and light cover, which that's pretty good, honestly. But in Vulcus with so much heavy terrain, probably avoid him. He does get to place the panspectral markers, though, giving accurate 1 and saturate weapon rules, which maybe with all the piercing 1 weapons, this could be useful. Whenever friendly the problem is the combos. However, this is nice because you can technically go last with him in turn 1 and then place it, and then it'll just be there. So when this guy's next activated, that's when it happens. So considering accurate 1 and saturate goes onto that thing, like on the thing you place for the 3-inch range, you can technically just put it on an objective at the end of turn 1 and then keep this guy safe somewhere to go later. That way you just, and at any point if someone runs up to that objective, you can just be like, and you're dead. I'm gonna run up with all these bonuses including accurate 1 and saturate and kill you. Or you can toss it onto, I don't know, just like a general area where people could be using cover to try to like prevent things from happening. Been learning a lot too, looking at like arguments on Reddit recently. Apparently, due to the wording of how heavy terrain works on Vantage, you can't get obscured while on Vantage from the same terrain piece. So like, if you're up there and you're trying to like stay back from the wall so that you can get obscured, you can't really do it. So technically when you're up on top of something, like if you're not next to a heavy wall, like Seek Light could just outright kill you, depending on how that wall's placed. So this guy might be good for thing. This is the issue. He feels like a trap. This is so much AP to achieve stacking effects that would require me to do them. And then if the person I do them to isn't activated yet, he can just like leave whenever he feels like it. I can force someone in light cover to have to activate next, basically, and get the hell out of there. I don't know. This is too weird. You saw that Reddit thread? It didn't seem right to me either until I started looking at the book. And the book, yeah. Yeah, you can't have cover and be obscured by the same terrain piece. But, like, let's say you want obscuring. It's same floor. That's the thing. It's same floor. From below, it's a whole other thing. But, because the concept is, let's say we're both on floor number 2 and I'm shooting at you and you're slightly back from a heavy wall on your piece of terrain. By the wording, you won't get obscuring. You have to be next to the wall to get cover from it. Whenever you are selecting a valid target for an operative on vantage terrain, operatives at least 2 inches lower than this operative conceal, that's all that. It's the thirdly. For the purpose of obscured, ignore heavy terrain connected to vantage terrain the active operative or the intended target is on. So it's back and forth. So the heavy terrain, they're basically saying when you're on the second floor, do not expect to get obscured from any terrain up there that's on your same terrain piece. Just don't expect it at all. So, because like the example that was given was there was a scout that was in a position where you couldn't fully see the person on the second floor from the other side of a piece of heavy terrain. And he was like, is he obscured? And apparently the answer is no. From second floor to second floor, you don't get the light cover from the floor, from the vantage, because it's second floor to second floor. The pass through for the shot doesn't go through the floor. Even in Vulcus, where they claim, like, even though there's a difference in height on Vulcus, they do say explicitly in the Vulcus rules, treat both floors as though they're on the exact same height when it comes to targeting. That way there's no way for the firing lines to go through the floor, which means they won't pass through light. So you don't get your light, and if you're too far away from the wall, you don't get heavy cover. But you will not be able to get obscured from that situation either. So it's very specific and very interesting, in my opinion. You can still use exterior heavy terrain to trigger obscuring. That's the weird spot. And that's kind of where you need to be, I guess, informative with your opponent that, like, I'm standing here because if you're on the other side of this pile of garbage that's over here trying to shoot me, I'm going to be obscured because of that pile of garbage kind of situation. So that was something to think about, which this could kind of help with. I don't know. I still think he's a trap. If you consider characters, like, again, remember, this is 2 APL. This is 2 APL. If you want to maximize this guy's potential, he is spending almost the entire game sitting still and then dropping this somewhere in the battlefield, which he doesn't need vision for it. That's the cool part. He doesn't need vision for it. He could put it anywhere. You just drop it somewhere, and then you just get all this bonus, which is great. But then on the same time, he does need vision here. And, like, this is it. This is your 2 AP. He's not shooting. He's not doing missions. This is a support, non-mission doer who maybe in turn 4 stops doing this and then goes out to do some missions. I don't know. It just doesn't seem good. Especially since he's just a same thing as a warrior. Blaster, bolter. Cognitar. The Cognitar I could get because he is, again, he's kind of a warrior without the damage reduction. And then this doesn't require AP. And then the only thing he has allows you to change where the marker is and change the type of marker it is. And then that's it. Kind of okay, but I also don't really like what it does necessarily. I mean, it's because it's a gambit, it's good, though. Because you can always do this early and then see what your opponent does without having to spend command points. But yeah, if an enemy is within 3 inches of the attack marker, you can reroll 1 dice. So it's just... This is as good as a command point reroll could be. For either. Because it's like 1 defense or 1 attack. So this is kind of like this is where your plus command point comes from, because then you just get a command point reroll without having to spend on it. So maybe he's okay. I do think the big one is probably the Kinlink, due to this not needing sight anymore because of the errata. It's just pick a guy, pick one of your teammates on the field, give him an APL. This might be the one that has to go in, because being able to take any of the gunners up to 3 APL makes them huge threats. And then system jam's actually not a bad idea. Although the valid target part of it's a little annoying. Although this guy has that fun benefit of being able to go last. Like, turn 1, okay, strategically, turn 1, the Kinlink goes last, right? If there is a valid target, which I doubt there will be, although I need to, in Beta Decima, if this guy's on top of a piece of terrain and you're not through a footprint of another piece of terrain, I'm pretty sure I see you. I still don't fully understand how top floor to bottom floor works on Beta Decima. But if he's up top on Beta Decima and he can see people below who aren't standing in footprints, maybe I could just throw a free one of these out at the end of the phase alongside one of these to one of my allies. That way there's at least one person who's system jammed, and then maybe at the top of the next round I could do it to another one. That way there's 2 characters that can't move until the end of the overall turn. It's a little weird. I don't know. These specialists just feel like traps, man. They really do. Same warrior guns, same general stats, nothing different. This is the first specialist that doesn't feel like garbage. However, he is nerfed to 7-inch movement, which kind of sucks. Still only has 2 APL. And he is kind of restricted to a bolt pistol that doesn't get an increased hit rate. However, it does have accurate 1. Like, this is bad right here. This is not good. Plasma weapon is great, but that does make him kind of a one-off if he's going in for combat. The way people have used him strategically, from what I've seen and heard about, is this is the one that he sits in a nice spot turn 1 so that he can either turn 1 go do a mission or turn 2 go do a mission like right off the rip. Like if going to your enemy's objective, if let's say an enemy puts like 1 guy that's 2 APL on an objective, right? And then I spend the command point at the top of my phase. Maybe this guy's marked with +1 APL already, or that would be the thing, right? If a Space Marine's on an enemy objective for loot, and then I have this guy at 3 APL due to the Kinlink, I get top of the turn, and I hit him with the ploy that makes him be considered +1 to his APL. No, yeah, Kojima. It is a weird concept, but it is what it is. But yeah, you can get this guy technically to be considered 4 APL on an objective. So if we're playing loot and it's early enough, I could move him to 7 with the jump pack. Dash, I think, also gets fly, so he'd get a free 3. And then I could perform the mission action and then still shoot if I want to while I'm back there. I think. No, that's still 3. He'd be considered 4. He would beat the Space Marine in APL. I could loot the objective from the Space Marine right off the rip and make them go down in points. Do I lose the jump pack warrior? Absolutely. Is that a good idea? Probably not. But it is the concept for a points theft bomb that could win me a game. I don't know. The gunner. This is the beam rule. This is the rule that makes me constantly want to use the Edikarn plasma beamer, even though it's probably not a good idea. But yeah, you get 3 of these. I'm leaning into the auto rifle for almost everything, because ceaseless rending with grudge is so good. Like auto, my main 3 I think is like the auto rifle, that way I have mobility, although the high las rotary is almost as good. The thing is, for the auto rifle, if I go 1 APL on him, he could move, shoot, dash. That's huge. Versus the high las rotary, which could only be in a preemptive position to then shoot and then move out, so that he kind of gets out of line of sight for about the same damage. 1 extra attack. Still with ceaseless. This one has saturate though, which is nice. But my internal idea is auto rifle, plasma beamer, missile launcher. Magna rail, I mean, this is nice, but it's still technically a 4-5. Piercing 2 is pretty cool. That's like the main thing about it. But it's the same. This is the same actual damage line as the high las auto. And when you're hitting on 4s, for the most part, you can go to 3 absolutely, and that's cool. If the Magna rail rifle was hitting on 3s, like right off the rip, because it is a sniper rifle technically, I'd be like, oh yeah, let's go for it. But heavy dash, I don't think that's good. Piercing 1's great, but like, eh. Versus the versatility of an L7 to have either piercing 1, or because we are playing in Tomb World, we are playing in Gallo Dark, and we will have access to Vulcus, which does have those buildings on the first floor. This is now a lethal 5. This is lethal on 5, blast 2, 3-5, 4 attacks. So into Horde, this is fantastic. Into individuals, this is pretty good. Granted, you don't have the rerolls, which is what you would want, but maybe you would use this on units that are on objectives or mission markers. That way you could fully reroll the 4+ into them if you really felt like it, the 4 attacks. And then the plasma beamer is just awesome. Specifically for this beam thing. Grudge makes this so good. Whenever operative is shooting with this weapon, each retained critical success immediately inflicts D3 damage on each other operative along one and only one beam line. Roll separately for each operative, but the target isn't affected by this, of course. An operative is along the beam line if targeting line can be drawn from this operative to its base, and the line crosses the base of the original target, but doesn't cross heavy terrain. So if and this is one of those dumb things that in the 4 games we're going to play probably will never happen. If I can stack one person with like 3 grudge tokens, set it up so that I get enough rerolls to be able to hit them with at least 3 hits, and then put 2 to 3 of their teammates in a straight line, that's 3d3 mortals onto those teammates, while still doing actually good damage to the primary target. I love this weapon. It's so weird and so fun. But I gotta remember that. The line cannot pass through heavy. Which actually makes for some fun ideas. Because if like this guy was hiding behind heavy, but a part of his base was coming around the corner for whatever reason, you can use that. The line can't pass through heavy. So like you can draw the line from you to the person to this with the heavy terrain just over here to like other people in the distance. It's just good. I'm trying to think of how I would use this. I feel like this is more into like lower health, mid armor units, and then this is more like, I mean, because it's 5 attacks. Even when you're fighting someone who has like armor of 3, if between the ceaseless and the attack number you can get to 4 hits, that's a guarantee of 4 damage, bare minimum. versus this that might not even do damage. Although rending is nice with grudge. This is better to start with. If you have one guy with one grudge token on him, it's almost a guaranteed 2 crits, which is really good. The army's built around gunners. I just personally think I leave the Magna Rail at home because I need to be able to move. There's not enough units in this list to sit back, so I need to move and I need to be on the front line. Definitely the L7, definitely the Edikarn. Toss up between these two. Magna Rail is just fun flavor because it's not stealth. Like there's no silent here. If I put him on top of a building, it's not great. He's gonna get like 1 turn. Although in Beta Decima, you can technically put things up on top of the overwalks, right? So if I put the portable barricade up there and then send him up there, at the very least, I will have a full field, very hard to deal with rifle sitting up top. The hitting on 4s, though. Oh, it hurts so much. Hitting on 4s hurts way too much, especially without rerolls. I don't think it's worth. Like, you technically have to move this guy into the field. It used to be that because he had heavy, you had to spend 2 action points to shoot if you moved. Oh, no, you had to just spend 2 action points to shoot. So what you would do is you would move and dash him out, and then you would spend on, in the Eyes of the Ancients, to give him a free shoot action with the Magna Rail. And that was a good combo, but that's gone now. You can't do it here anymore. Yeah, I don't think this is worth. I don't think that's worth it all. Hearthkin Grenadier, probably a guaranteed pickup every single time, because outside of the Magna Rail's damage output potential with the piercing, this is the best damage potential you could possibly have. Pierce 1, Saturate, heavy on a reposition, which is nice. It's only Blast 1, so it's not great, but that still means lethal 5 in close quarters. Limited to 1, of course. Only 4-inch range from you, which that kind of sucks when your movement is 5. This very much is a move dash in the Eyes of the Ancients from 4 inches away character. Very much that. For 4/6 hitting on 3s, which that's huge. C8 HX4. Like, this is pretty good. And then he just gets frag, crack, smoke, and stun. He gets all of them. Not just 2. All of them. Smoke being the operable here. Because honestly, I should probably have to... That's the reality, right? Like, he'd have to move up, smoke an objective, and then I would have to send a warrior to that objective. Because the warriors reduce damage incoming. The smoke will reduce the types of things that's happening to them. Anything I can do to stack I'm not gonna die effects onto a warrior that's on an objective, pretty good. The fact that he also has access to all of this, super useful. The fact that if he's using frag or crack, he gets +1, which means he's hitting on 3s, super useful. He's way too good. And on top of it, he gets this thing, which is crazy. You just, within 6 inches of him, put a marker down. And then whenever an operative is within 3 inches of that utility grenade, they have to spend an additional action point to do pickup marker and mission actions. Like, this is crazy. Considering how many mission actions there are now in the current rules for crit op and even tac op, this is insane. Like, this is annoying. And then it persists like a smoke grenade. Best viewers ban. Field medic, I don't know. Like, when do you think the best time is to take a field medic on an 8 health, 3+ armor save army, or team rather? Like, this is 3 failed bolt gun shots or 2 failed crits. This is getting hit by a heavy attack from a plasma weapon. That's just 2 wounds, you're dead. Like, they're so fragile. And I always feel like field medics are best in the back. Like, field medics are best when applied in the back of the army. You also have to play that game of positioning, right? Because it's only 3 inches for this thing. So depending on where, like, depending on where my barricade is, depending on where the enemies are, depending on where the, like, the warrior or whatever I have is, there's a shot, like, that I can't save people with him at all. And then you get the whole issue of the 1 wound remaining. He loses an APL until the next activation. Can I use this rule if operative is incapacitated or shoot action as operative will be primary or secondary target? Yeah, and I don't know. It's not good, man. I've never liked medics outside of like outside of the like higher tech or anything Necron. Like the Necron healing is usually ranged, which is amazing. Being able to be like, oh, you over there, 2d3, have fun with it. It's so good. And then I don't think you can heal this guy, right? Can we get that? I believe that the medic rule was used on during this turning point. Okay. Yeah, this is one of those shit situations where I could revive a dude with a medic that hasn't gone yet. And then when the medic goes, the medic can't heal him. So that just kind of sucks. Nux, the dozer. So apparently the dozer reduces damage of 4 to damage of 3. So if you're taking multiple instances of 4 damage, only normal damage, by the way, which doesn't exist a lot. I mean, this is normal of 4 right there. But like, this is the common. This is the average. Right? Like, this is a 4 sure. I think it's these weapons are the ones that are like most likely for the Nux to have better time against. But there's not a lot of like enemy weaponry that's like, yo dog, I'm 4 damage. Still though, this is probably one of the better melee guys you could take. Lethal 5, shock, ceaseless. Throw some grudge tokens in there. Ugh. Ugh, so good. One of the few guys hitting on 3s. The fact that he can punch when he's dying. The idea that you can technically do this. So if you're in combat already, like if you ran in for a safety hug, like turn 1, if you can get in on someone with this guy, which already crazy because what is that? That's 7 inch for a charge. So you charge and then you do Nux Smash. Nux Smash does the mortals, giving you a free charge right after the fact. So technically you're not taking damage in return, but you are initiating with bare minimum 2, maximum 4 damage onto a target that can't swing back at you in that situation. He is good though. Like, he's weird good. I kind of like him. And then we're on the Thane. Again, I have a Thane variant that has a concussion gauntlet, and then I can either give him the Bolter or Ion Blaster. That's honestly probably the one I'm going to use. Because the 8-inch plasma is okay, but it's still like the same normal damage as most of these things. I'd rather have a guy sitting way back who could easily add to a fight without needing to be within threat range of enemies. Because again, you need him on the field to maximize grudge tokens. I feel like the 2 times I've used him, I've gone in with him on turn 2 and have lost him on turn 2, which means I'm just not making grudge tokens anymore. So he has to survive till like the end of turn 3 or even the top of turn 4. So giving him pistols, I don't know. I do have a variant that involves the plasma pistol and the plasma weapon. But I do actually think I'm going to be using the concussion gauntlet and then make a call on either Bolter or Blaster. I I think that might be for the best. Because here's the thing. If you activate the +1 to hit within 6, like, sure, you technically get the 3 up to hit at 8, and then you just hit on 3 anyway. But I feel like if you're going to go crazy from shooting, you still, like, rush up and get within 6, and you still do this. On a 3. It's definitely a weird one. But that leads us to the team. Behold. So this is the Magna Rail that I really like the look of. It's one of the few cool weapons that exists in the game that has like a lot of those gappings. It's really nice. Never using him. Off to the side he goes. So here's my Thane. Currently he is equipped with the bolt gun, but like I said, what I'm most likely going to do at the top of each round is I'm just going to go, hey, by the way, we're all using Ion. Like if they have one of these, it's an Ion, not a bolter situation. But Concussive Gauntlet, I feel like it's the biggest threat in turn 3 and 4. When almost every enemy on the field has like maybe less than 7 or equivalent to 7 health, and then this guy can just like pick a target and kill it. So most likely him as a lead versus this, which, you know, it's still okay. If I'm playing into enemies that are very good at rushdown, maybe I go this one. I don't know. But he's probably going to sit out for the most part. So, leadership. Concussive Thane. The big thing you must always focus on then is the guns. Like we were saying, the variable nature of this missile launcher makes it required. Either the blast, which can get lethal 5 in close quarters, or the higher pierce with good damage focus missile makes this thing kind of horrifying. So he is most likely in. Edekarn Plasma, with its oddity that works very well with Grudge in terms of applying mortal wounds in straight lines on people. I think he's in because of that. And then the last gunner that matters, again, is either going to come down to this for rending, which I honestly think is the better bet, or this for higher attack output. Still okay mobility, although this with +1 AP would allow it to move, shoot, dash, which is big. And this comes with Saturate, so depending on if it's like a lot of cover, might be useful. But I am very much leaning into the Auto Las for its more sustained potential with its Ceaseless. As we brought up, pretty good action monkey. Also the ability to increase my overall equipment that I take to 5. It cannot be understated. Very important. The lugger. He will also carry either a bolter or ion into the field. Now, this is 4 of 9. I have 3 warriors, which would leave me 2 spaces. 2 spaces for specialists, of which there are a lot of options. I either take the 3 warriors or I take 2. I don't know. I do feel like the warriors are important, because the warriors are the ones you want to throw up and sacrifice early. So at the very least, I would potentially claim that 2 are probably the most worth it to put onto objectives. If that's the case, then of course we have 4, 5, 6. So we have 3 options for support. The Grenadier is probably one of the highest tier options I can think of. For strategy, the jetpack into almost everything is good. Even with his 7-inch movement. Because he has 7-inch movement regardless of whether he's using the jetpack or not. So even in close quarters with things like Tomb World or Gallowdark, he can still go 7. So he goes 6 through a door. Right? So he's not bad in that regard if I need mobility. And then that just leaves 1 slot. Which the more I think about it, the more I am leaning into the unit that provides +1 action point. Which, let me verify what that is. Awesomely, the Hearthkin are one of the few teams where when they released all the information for them, they showed different pictures for the specialists. I don't know if they fixed it or not. But the Kinlink should be, I think, this guy, who I actually have 2 variants of. So if there is an Ion Blaster, I could just give him the Ion Blaster. Pretty sure that's the Kinlink. The Cognitar has the robot hand and the iPad. No, that's a Locatar that I just threw in there. Okay. Yeah, because he has a spectral scanner. So I would be looking more at this one. This is the one that can provide +1 APL to any other Hearthkin on the field. Also the ability to... No. Oh yeah, no. It is weird they did... Dude, when I saw this guy... and I knew they were going to be getting a range update, I was like, yo, dog. Jump pack dwarves, let's go. Because this is just a attachment to this. Like, these are the standard... These are the standard Votann backpacks. And the jump pack is just an attachment for it. You just put basically a cap on their standard backpack to make a jump pack dwarf. And it looks so cool. It's got the roll cage over the top. So nice. This might be the standard team. I could ostensibly swap the Nux for maybe the jump pack troop. Maybe. I still think the movement speed is very required. You need at least one guy who can be like, I'm over here now. The Grenadier for tactics. Like, the Grenadier needs to back up a warrior. That way he can throw smoke onto an objective and then the warrior can step on. This guy's going to play mid to back. This guy could technically play my specific mission point because of his free ability to do an action point on it. He can kind of do it. It's either that or he can play mid to front line. Because once he's in, you get your bonus for the extra stuff. And if he can run forward and steal an objective from you for hyper cheap, I think he'd be worth it. He'd be a good one-off to give someone a grudge token. These guys are the bread and butter that you have to keep protected. This little 4-man brick here. This warrior could maybe back up this guy if need be. That way you can have 2 warriors that could go to point while a Grenadier sits back and waits for the right moment. And then this feels like the offbeat recon for one of the sides. And this is all going to come down to these bad boys. Like, what we're looking at is we could do retrieval. If you control an objective marker that hasn't been searched, that operative is now carrying one of your retrieval mission markers, and that objective marker has been searched. Friendly operatives can perform this pickup marker action on your retrieval mission markers. An operative cannot perform this action during the first turning point. So you just have to, like, retrieve. I don't like this. I feel like this is almost a guaranteed 4, but not 6. Because if you do it in mid, like if I send the jump pack to mid to do it and then run him away so he can drop the objective somewhere else, maybe? But I don't know. This would allow me to hyper-focus on trying to kill, though. This is one of the interesting ones, because you don't have to retrieve till the bitter end. If I think I can hold my own and have 3 units on each objective at the very end of the game, this is where you get 6 points right off the rip. But I'd have to really feel like I can deal with, like, a ton of stuff. Which would leave, like, the jump pack guy to go for the far point. Maybe this little unit here to be on mid. These guys, or at least one of these guys, to be on my own point. I don't have to reveal this until I do the action. So I can literally hide this for the entire game until turn 4. I would need to fight an army that's, like, low damage output. Which I don't think, out of every army in there, I don't think one exists. The stealth suits might be okay for me to deal with because they're not great at melee, which would mean this guy's actually useful in melee. I have to look at stealth suit stats. That's the thing that's going to really get me. Scout enemy movement. Select one ready enemy operative visible to him more than 6 inches from this active. The enemy operative is now monitored until the ready step of the next strategy phase. For each monitored enemy operative that's visible to friendly operatives, you score 1 VP. Note that this doesn't have to be a friendly operative that performed the scout action. You cannot score more than 2 VP. So you have to do this with 2 models? I don't like this. I do not have the mobility to do this. Wait, where do I do this? Select one enemy operative visible to him more than 6 inches from the enemy operative. That enemy operative is now monitored until the ready step. This is a mission action, which means the lugger can do it for free. Which is maybe good. Oh, wait, you can do this. If I run out and I kill someone, and then you kill me, operative cannot perform this action while it has an engage order. That's a downside. During the first turning point or while within control. That's all downsides. That's way too many downsides. I can't play this into melee. Because what I was thinking is I would send someone up to do a mission, like an actual mission. And then if they were to die, I would spend the command point to do the mission action for this. But that does not sound like a good idea. This, however... Divide the kill zone into 2 flanks left and right by drawing an imaginary line. An operative contests a flank while both wholly within it and within their opponent's territory. Friendly operatives control a flank if the total APL stat of those contesting it is greater than that of the enemy operative. So wait, do I need to be in my opponent's side? Because that's not going to happen on Votan. Into 2 flanks, left and right, by drawing an imaginary line that's just like the center line, except it runs from the center of each player's kill zone edge. An operative contests a flank while both wholly within it and within their opponent's territory. Yeah, you have to be in an opponent's territory. Player 1 controls the flank as total APL of Player 1's operatives wholly within Player 2's territory is greater than that of Player 2's operatives. Oh, this one sucks. I don't like this. This is for like a rushdown melee army. Select one friendly operative to be your envoy until the ready step. The next strategy phase, you cannot select an operative you selected during a previous turning point. At the end of each turning point after the first, if your envoy is wholly within enemy territory and not within control range of enemy operatives, you score one. I don't know about this either. I mean, I could do it once with the jump pack, but then I'm just screwed after that point. Martyrs. Martyrs could probably be it for me. Because if the plan is to throw these two into mid, then mid just becomes a martyr point that I have to go control. At the end of each turning point after the first, if friendly operatives contest an objective marker that is one or more of your martyr tokens, you can remove. I don't feel like 9 people is enough. For each token you remove in this way, you score 1 VP. If friendly operatives also control that marker, you score 2 VP instead. You cannot score more than 2 VP. Oh. Wait, so for each token you remove this way, you score. If friendly operatives also control that marker, you score 2 VP. Oh, so if you contest, you get 1 for each marker you pick up. If you own, you get 2. That actually could be pretty good. So I'm leaning into things like retrieval or martyrs so far. Retrieval or martyrs could be okay. Place your banner. This one, though, I kind of like. I need to figure out banner placement, though. Place a banner mission marker within the active operative's control range, wholly within your opponent's territory, and more than 5 inches from a neutral kill zone edge. Operatives can perform the pickup marker action on your banner mission marker. An operative cannot perform this action during the first turning point while within control range of an enemy operative, or if a friendly operative has already performed this action during the battle. At the end of each turning point after the first, if your banner mission marker is wholly within your opponent's territory and friendly operatives control it, you score 1 VP. If that's true and no enemy operatives contest it, you score 2 VP instead. Note your banner mission marker must be in the kill zone to score, not being carried. Oh. That's actually interesting. This is on my list. This is definitely on my list. Because if I can hold middle, like genuinely, if I can hold middle, I could run one of my guys out to plant a banner. And then like chill in smoke, like right near the end of turn 2. So I could hold mid objective while simultaneously scoring on plant banner. Or I could just find a spot no one's going and get my jump pack out there and then have him do this. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm leaning into plant banner, not like on an extreme level, but kind of there. I'm leaning into martyrs as a possibility. And then retrieval. Scout enemy movement is a little bit eh. Scout might be okay, though. The problem is I have to stay in conceal, and this isn't a good army to stay in conceal. Turn 2, I'm probably going to be going very loud, almost fully into engage. So I don't know how I feel about Scout. Please allow me to BRB real quick. We'll go over some of the issues with this army that I noticed the one time I've played them so far. So give me a second. Okay, then. Let's talk issues. The thing about Kill Team is it's very explicit in a lot of its rules. Very explicit. Step 1 for targeting, a line has to be drawn from the head to a part of any enemy model. It's a very key thing. I guess as a preview, I still got to work on painting them. I still don't like their paint job, man. I kind of hate their paint jobs. Even though Raptors are going to be close range for the most part, they have quite the advantage in terms of where their heads are versus where a Votann head is. Just throwing that out there. But even beyond that, You guys seeing an issue here? You guys seeing a little bit of an issue? Probably not fully thinking about it. Oh, my train's not out here. Hang on. So this one's fine. This one, though. His head is able to be out and about across most of the back of that. This is the limit for the head. Only left and right. Now, strategically speaking, that's not the worst. But this is a big enough point to have 3 people behind it when you're going against a team that really doesn't have blast, so you don't have to worry about it too much. My Thane can see nothing. And then you could put one of them there and one of them there. But my Thane, as of right now, in this moment, has 0 visibility to anything on the field. Now, that doesn't necessarily matter for the Thane, but when it comes to this guy who needs to have valid targets in order to hit them with the jamming tokens. Ta-da! He cannot see anyone. Versus if he was just slightly taller, this guy can 100% see people from that position. The fun doesn't end there. Something I noticed... I should have grabbed the other piece. Let me go grab it. Ugh. Do you like my Vulcus terrain? Capable of seeing into the Vulcus terrain. Incapable of seeing into the Vulcus terrain. And that's from most spots. Like, they can see from, like, this corner here. But not there. Not there. So this is a key issue with Vulcus. I wonder, can they even see through the window? This doesn't have the window. I think they can see through the other window, though. But yeah, this is a key issue with Vulcus. Basically, if you're trying to run along inside areas or you're trying to utilize the inside components of terrain to, like, give yourself cover and all that, you're gonna run into the issue where This guy can kind of like be here and see out. And then if you're here, like if you're like right here, you guys can't see each other. Which, if you're inside the if you're in here, there's usually an objective in here. So you're getting the objective, and I'm out here not being able to stop you. You could go over here. Still not able to stop you. However, by the rules, the top of my helmet thing here is visible from here. This guy can see him, but because his head's down below it, he can't see him. That's actually a thing. That is straight up a thing. So yeah, Votann. Super weird. All because of their height. Their height causes so many problems with in-field combat. That's just very difficult to solve. And I know there's boxes that are usually inside here. But the funny part is the boxes are usually like in a spot where even if this person stands on the box, they still can't see out from most angles. Whereas if this person is, he can usually see like anywhere he wants from the box. Dude, they are way too weird. I kept getting screwed over because I played into commandos with this team in a Vulcus map. And in the Vulcus map, the commandos were able to see me all the time. But almost no matter where I stood, I couldn't see them. Like, ever. I was always just, like, trapped behind walls. Only, like, a piece of my, like, model would be coming around a corner that they could see. But then, like, I didn't have head to them angles. It's just so weird. Probably won't matter as much in Tomb World. Probably won't matter as much in Gallowdark, of course. But, man. The oddity of this that I have to think about while playing. Just the strangeness of this wall. I'd only be able to have 2 people peeking around it, not 3, whereas any other army could have all 3 people visible. Votann. Although I will say, this guy being slightly up. Nope. Head's still too short. Backpack, though, visible to anyone from the outside, but his head is so short that he can't see over top of this wall. Because that is it. You have to draw from head to body part for vision. After that, it's base to base. The fun triangle carving. Let's take a look at some of our opponents. Who's messaging me? Why does someone message me? Oh. So I have new dice. And I told my buddy that I've been sitting here warming up my dice rolls to try to check my level of luck. I will say, I'm a little worried someone's going to claim my dice are weighted. I've been noticing as I roll it that when I roll in chunks of 4, there are times where I'll have a streak where I guarantee roll 2 6s. But like this feels average. 6, 5, 4, 3. And these are matte enough that I don't have issues with the reflection. But like, this should be fine. But then then this happens. Double 6, 1, 4. If I'm using the ceaseless gun, reroll the 1, get a 3. If we're in the state of +1 to hit within 6, and my target has a grudge token, at least 1 grudge token. This is 2 crits, a rending crit, and then a grudge crit. This is a quad crit right here. 4 crits, go. But then this is garbage. This would be a hit and a normal. I could reroll one of those. So 3 normals, grudge upgrade, rending upgrade, I think. I'd have to... I don't know if grudge to rending works. That's actually something I need to look at real quick. Votan info. You can retain one of your normal successes as a critical success instead, including any normal successes already retained from accurate. So this would allow me to retain it as a critical success instead, which should trigger rending to my understanding. Look at the 40 or the Kill Team Light rules. If you retain any critical successes, you can retain one of your normal successes as a critical success instead. I might have to get a judge's call on it. But it does say if you retain a critical, you can retain a normal as a critical instead. And standard rending doesn't work the way this grudge alternate does. You can retain one of your normal successes as a critical success instead, including accurate, which would then allow a normal to be retained as a critical through rend. My team is critical heavy, man. I just have to learn to play it. Like, I have to learn to stack critical in the right way, or else I'm not going to have a good time. Let me pull up a couple of the teams we're going to be playing against. Let me pull up the better team. Let me show you guys what the better version of the Hearthkin look like. Let's grab Hearthkin Jaegers. This guy's also saying Scouts. I think the big ones are going to be the battle suits or the Rekkas. Someone said Hand of the Archon. We've got Legionary, Inquisition Agents, Tempestus Aquilans. Oh, he's Blades of Cain, actually. Okay. Did I grab Rekkas? Inquisitorial. The issue with Inquisitorial is I don't know who he's going to bring as allies. Okay. Yeah. I know a lot of these guys. Like a lot of them. I specifically like the Hexorcist. This is probably one of the funniest things you could possibly do in an army. The ability to just be like, nah, your rule's turned off. That's fantastic. What are we looking at here? So the 2, and then a 5 of this, and then a 5 of either requisitioned or more of these. What's their requisition factions? Deathcore, not great. Exaction. I feel like a lot of people might lean into either Exaction or Sisters. Kasserkin, maybe. I think Breachers are still not that great as allies for these guys. Exaction with shields is insane. If they really pull out an Inquisitorial agent list with like a bunch of decent like assistives here, and then just go like 4 shields or whatever the max shields is they can take in this list. Oh, that'd be brutal. Exaction 5. Yeah, so you get 2 shields and then just go like 3 random other stuff. Maybe a grenade launcher gunner. Or you can keep your activations low with, I think, the Mastiff, the Leash Master. Revelatum and a Malacator, also pretty good as an idea. It's a pretty good team in general. I think I still go with maybe like my Pierce, potentially. Because like this would suck. If they come with like Sisters of Silence, I'd be like, oh no. They're basically me. But, oh, they only have 2 APL too. Alright, so that's not that bad. But 5+ saves. I think what? There's an equipment that gives them like +1 or something for saves. Oh, you get 1 of a 4 and then everything else is 5. Still, their health is pretty low. 7s. I might match well into Inquisitorial agents, depending on what assistant they go with. Depending on what requisition squad they take. I know most of this. But let's browse through the abilities, because some of this is, like, could completely screw me over. Select one of the following Inquisitorial tomb rules. So, yeah, one guy gets 1 buff, the other gets the other. Friendly Inquisitorial operative is shooting against, fighting against, retaliating against an enemy operative within 2 inches of friendly operatives with this rule. Add 1 to the attack. Hang on. Whenever a friendly is shooting against, fighting against, or retaliating against an enemy operative. So, this thing has to get within 2 inches of the friendly operatives with this rule. Okay, so so this just has to kind of stay close to something that's about to like open fire on me. Specifically, it's Inquisitorial agent. I guess the thing that matters is, do the requisition agents become Inquisitorial? Kill team can only include each operative on this list once, unless you're including requisition, in which case you can include up to 2 gun servitors, but each must be different options. Oh, not including. Cannot include more than weapons with piercing. Cannot include more than 1 weapon with piercing 2, and cannot include more than 3 weapons with piercing X. Okay. Operatives have their faction keyword changed for, in all instances, to Inquisitorial agents. So yeah, they would get the benefit from the skull, which could hurt a lot, depending on who they take. Whenever an enemy operative is shooting against, fighting against, retaliating against a friendly Inquisitorial operative within 2. With this rule, subtract 1 from the... Oh... I need to figure out who has Sanctification on and either avoid them completely or straight up try to kill them specifically. Which sucks because it's probably going to be on this guy. And this guy's untargetable when in cover. Ugh. I'd have to blast it. So the downside is it's within 2. So if they give me a target within 2 of the thing, like this, like if this is up there and then they do the thing where they're like, oh, 2 inches gets +1 to attack, and then one of them comes out of conceal to shoot me, if I can shoot a blast back into it, this guy's basically dead. Same thing with this guy, honestly. I could kill either of them with a blast attack. I think the goal would be to try to rush down one of these 2 units with a grenade guy and like frag him. Because from what I can tell, Grudge works on frag. Like frag and crack grenade still gets the benefit of Grudge. Grab that. Whenever friendly Earth can salvage operative is shooting, fighting, or retaliating against an enemy operative, for each of your Grudge tokens that enemy operative has, you can retain one of your normal successes as a crit. Yeah, you can. I could chuck a 3-up to hit frag grenade at a chunk of these guys, and every single one of them that has a Grudge on them, I can just adjust. Which, if they're all sitting on an objective, I can pay a command point at the top of the round to put at least 1 Grudge token on everyone in that group for that shooting. Auto Savant, this one's the command point one. Can I use that weapon? This operative can perform charge action while it has a conceal order. Yeah, this guy's gonna hurt. This operative fighting, retaliating, resolving, you can ignore the damage inflicted on it from 1 normal success once per turning point. This guy's gonna hurt so bad. Whenever an enemy operative is incapacitated, you gain a CP. Whenever an enemy operative is incapacitated while this operative's control range. Oh, dude, you could set this up for huge command point generation. Whenever an enemy operative performs fallback action while within control range, D6, 1, you can get some preventative, Hexorcist, Mystic Agent. Once operative's control of a marker, treats operative's APL status 1 higher, so standard banner bearer. Operative cannot use any weapons that aren't on its list. That means it can't use grenades. Then he has this huge ability to either pick guidance or protection for retaining normals, or retaining a fail as a normal, or retaining a normal as a crit. That's pretty big. Whenever the selected operative is shooting, fighting, retaliating in the roll attack dice step, you can retain one of your fails as a normal, or upgrade a normal to a crit. This guy's a pretty good combo for that that melt-a-gun, that full field melt-a-gun. Pistolier, this is basic 2 shots, ignore changes to hit stats. That's another problem. When you have 8 health, you take 5 damage, and you're not only are you close to dead, but you're also at -1 to hit. And when you're hitting on 4s, if Grudge explicitly said that you cannot lower the hit stat of a Votan below 4, I'd be happy. I'd be okay with it. But like, 4 to 5? Are you kidding me? Maybe that's the reason to take the medic, is that you just don't want to deal with that crap. These are the anti-psychic. These are the decent chance to hit with okay weaponry. Are these the ones that can shut down my ability to use a command point ploy? Oh, this is the 4-inch to ignore cover. Oh, man, this army's... Dude, this team is going to be so brutal. If they go fucking subductors and shit, and they turn off... Oh, if they turn off cover at 4 inches, I'm screwed. They can pick one of my guys and make them not go. I remember Quarry being brutal. Yeah, and then they can turn off one of my ploys. I like inquisitorial agents for this alone. Like, for how obnoxious they are with just like, no. Because consider my team needs that +1 to hit. It needs the +1 to hit. So if my go phase is turn 2, And I'm like, yo, bro, +1 to hit. And they're just like, nah, brah. it's so brutal. I feel like into Inquisitorial, I have to take... I really do have to take the Nux, don't I? Let me take a look at this. Nux, yes. The Grenadier, yes. Definitely anything from the Gunner tree that has Ceaseless. Definitely Ceaseless. And Blast. I might even forego the Plasma Gun, honestly, into that. I would go high las and high rotary instead, so I could at least have the multiple forms of Ceaseless. Gunner, Jump Pack Warrior. I'd have to take the Jump Pack Warrior too. I'd basically be looking for anyone that either has rerolls or 3-ups. Or the ability to go accurate as well. I'd have to maybe focus... This is the team where if they don't go Sisters, if they go mostly like 4 or 5 armor save guys, I'd probably go the accurate guns instead of the pierce guns. Because if I can't do my 3-up, that's kind of the thing. I would always try it, turn 2 and beyond, because it is strong generally. I would always try for the 3-up to try to drain their command points by forcing them basically to use absolute authority. Meanwhile, I've got enough rerolls and accurate that it doesn't matter. Because that's the thing. Bolters with accurate 1, if we're playing in Vulcus or Beta Decima and I'm shooting at people below me, that's accurate 2 on a first floor basis. That's me going 2 guarantees and then one of them can grudge, and that's fine. If they have grudge tokens on them. Perfectly fine. Ooh, changes to its stats. That's Firefight though. Honestly, I think Inquisitorial Agents, although scary with all of their BS that they have, probably the most likely fun match that I'll have at this tournament. Potentially. If the Jaegers are there, although the guy said he might not bring the Jaegers. Like, look at this. Look at this. 3-ups, 3-ups. 3-ups on the shotgun. 5-ups from range, though, but still 3-ups from 6. 3-up in melee. 3-ups. You get here, and you're finally like, okay, yeah, 4-ups. The APM... What's bipod? This operative is shooting with his weapon if it hasn't moved, or if it's a counteraction. This weapon is ceaseless. So you get a single APM launcher with 3 different types of attacks. Blast 3 is kind of scary. Especially with 5 hits. Ugh. This guy's brutal. Bolt Revolver on 4. Interesting. But yeah, then you get here. Magna Coil Rifle. I have a Magna Rifle. It hits on 4. It's 1 damage less. What the hell is my Magna Rifle? My Magna Rifle is 4 attacks on 4s. So already way better with the hit rates. Damage line is 4-2 Deb 3. So ostensibly 4-5. He has a lower normal. I guess that's fine. Especially because these are piercing 1 versus my piercing 2. But it's if he's not moving, it's technically a 3-6 to my 4-5. He does have silent and concealed position, so I'm guessing you only get the 1 shot. Yeah, you only get the 1 stealth. However, he does have a cloak that ignores saturate and then allows him to retain additional cover. So even if I bonus with saturate functions, it doesn't matter. And that kind of sucks. Is this a 9-man team or is this less? This is the same size team as my team. Hitting on 3s. Although that's a 4 and that kind of sucks. But it is silent. Hitting on 3s. You just go all shotguns in this team and just rush people down. Still though, 5 to move. Save is worse than mine. That's actually kind of a boon that they have a worse save than I do. Same wound count. Same APL. Do they not have a person that hands out APL? If you add 1 to its APL stat, it lasts until the start of the next activation instead. Ooh. Oh, that's right. You can give APL out. Spend 1 of your resource points during each activation of each friendly Hearthkin Jaeger operative to do so, before or after its activation. When activated, if it's not within control range of an enemy operative, it gains up to D3 plus 1 lost wounds. Or you can add 1 to its APL stat. In the ready step of each strategy phase after the first, you gain resource points determined by the number. At the end of each turning point, discard them. So you'll have either 2 or 1, depending on how many I've killed. That's not bad. Basically, if I get you down to 4, you only have 1 guy who can either go AP1 or heal. In the first turning point, each friendly Hearthkin operative wholly within your drop zone can immediately perform this one fucking every time. You just reposition everyone in your drop zone. And you get to go 4 instead of the usual 3. I'm actually not as perturbed about them. I do like that they're a little bit closer to how the Space Marine Scouts work with like their minefields and stuff, which I'm okay with. The Fallen Kin concept, also kind of cool. I do think this would be a fun fight for us. Like for both of us to fight each other would be really fun. Salvagers versus friggin' Jaegers. I don't even know if I go the Retain Pierce. I think I go Accurate. Because I don't know, 4 up with 8 health doesn't feel that bad. Maybe Pierce is still better. Pierce is probably still better. So this would be a fun matchup. I think Agents of the Imperium could be a fun matchup. This was not one of the teams. I thought I read Hand of the Archon, but it was actually something different. I have not looked at these since they were released. So they have a ploy to increase their armor. So they're kind of like the reverse of me. They have better hit rates. Just in general, whereas I have to spend a ploy for the better hit rate within 6. And then they have to spend it on armor. 3 up to save, 13 wounds. This is definitely the Ion Blaster enemy type. Their melee isn't, like, not scary. This is actually... These guys, not so much. This guy, a little bit. Pulse Pistol Point Blank. That's actually a bit scary from the Shazvir. Infiltrator, Fists, not that scary. Not, like, I might Nux into this team, if I'm being honest. Can these guys shoot point blank? Is that one of their things? That used to be a thing. Stealth Fields. Whenever a friendly operative shooting against, fighting against. Balanced and saturate. You can ignore modifiers. 2 inches from enemy operatives. When a friendly operative is shooting an enemy operative that's within 2 inches of that marker, you can use this roll. If you do, remove that marker, and that friendly operative's ranged weapons have Seek. That's effed up. Oh, hang on. Place one of your ambush markers wholly within your territory. So if I'm in their territory, cover is not something I can rely on. Okay. That's not bad. I'm about to say, if it's just place a marker anywhere in the battlefield and just get free shots on someone. Ugh. The attacker must discard one of their unresolved normal successes. This isn't cumulative with being obscured. This isn't cumulative with being obscured. What is this? Is this the one where you either get this or you get obscured? Is that what that means? I think that's what that means, right? You can't just be like, oh, you have to discard 2 things now. When an enemy operative ends the charge action within their control range. Interrupted action. If you do, that friendly operative can immediately perform a free fallback, but it cannot move more than 3 inches during that action. Then that enemy operative can immediately perform a free reposition action using any remaining move distance if it had from the charge. You can do so even if it performed. Okay, so they have the reactive fallback. That's pretty cool. Use this firefight ploy at the end of friendly stealth suit operative's activation. Engage order to conceal. Use firefight ploy is activated until the end of that activation. You can ignore the vertical distance they move during 1 climb and 1 drop. Okay. Use this firefight ploy when a friendly battlesuit operative excluding selected battle target for shoot. Oh, this is the get down president with a drone. Okay. Multi-trackers, counter network jammers. One lower. Shooting an operative that's obscured. You don't have to discard 1 success as a result of that rule. All their effects apply. Whenever you would counteract, you can do so with 1 suits. 3 inches from now before it counteracts, you must change its order to engage. Oh, they don't really have shooting in melee. Unless it's built into them. Oh, do they have the marker light system still? Photon, electron, ambush. No, they don't have marker light anymore. These will be interesting, I think. What is it? It's the 5-man and then, or no. Stealth, stealth, stealth. 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 7-man team. Stealth battle suits. Oh no, these are the drones. So it's 5-man, 2 drones. That seems command point hungry though with this. To be able to do like the forced fallback, and then if I shoot the thing that fell back, go like spend more command points to go to the drones instead. That's just, I don't know. That seems so expensive of a team. And to my understanding, their issue is, like, you don't get this until I'm within 3 of your territory. So, like, this is important, I guess, for the middle point. I just can't go all the way across to give them accurate 2. I have to stay kind of on my side for only accurate 1. I guess you can drop to conceal to fall back for cheap. That's not bad. APL 3 makes them okay. Still, you're down 1 person from a normal elite squad. And then you only have these APL 2 guys on the side. You can't really do as much. Control and objective. Operative cannot use any weapons. Whenever determining what's visible, operative is ignored for opponent's kill elimination. So, apparently, if I have the Hexorcist, I can turn this off. The question is, if I'm the Hexorcist, can I turn all of this off? Or just... You can, like, turn this off, and then it counts. Like, that was a call that was made in a tournament. Is if I'm a Hexorcist, I can run over, chastise you, to turn this off, and then kill you for +1 to the kill op. Operatives within 2 inches of your ambush marker. Has to be valid target or ambush potential. Oddly, with my Salvagers, I think like turn 3 I send my Nux and I send my jetpack in to try to like grab some people, but it won't matter. Like I can send them in at the end. Since this is a 6 or a 7-man squad, I out activate them. I just have to stay in conceal in positions where they can't get me. Maybe even utilize part of the map where the bulk of them aren't to go plant a banner. In a way where they just can't deal with it. Like that actually kind of sucks. Imagine Vulcus where I just go into a building on their side and plant a banner inside that building. And then they have to go to me. And then there's just like 2 gunners and like a warrior next to it. And they're just sitting there like, hey, get close to my banner. Do it. Do it. Do it, I dare you. Yeah, that would suck. I'd probably run my Grenadier in. No, I would run a warrior in. He would throw down the banner because it's a mission. It's a mission icon, which means the warrior still gets -1 to one of the damage dice it takes. Then, either before or after this, my Grenadier nearby would chuck a smoke grenade where he's going. So he's just standing in smoke next to a banner. What are you going to do about it? Inside of a building you can't see into. What are you going to do about it? Oh, that kind of sucks, actually. Like, oh, that's going to be so brutal. So 2 people, I think, said they might do this. There's 2 people who might battle suits. Those same 2 people might also Rekka. So I'm either going to have battle suits to run into, or I'm going to be playing into some Rekkas. These are the guys that can get points right. They can build them up and use them for, like, big things. For each attack dice result of a 6, you get a Rekka. You can spend up to 3 Rekka points. For each point you spend this way, retain one of your fails as a normal. So you can just upgrade fails to normals based on Rekka points, up to 3 in total. It's kind of like the mini version of Grudge, I guess. It's good for saturation, though. 6 Rekka points at once. You can gain and spend Rekka points during the same actions and can do in any order of your choice unless you started the action with 6, in which case you can only spend them. First time friendly Rekka, bomb squig. Engage orders either performs charge, shoot, or fight. You get an APL. Reroll a defense. Get balanced on melee. Range saturate. A heal. They got that just a scratch. Classic just a scratch. Free Rekka points. Weapon roll, but has piercing 1. Oh, holy crap. This is nuts. -1 to move for +1 armor. I did not know they had that. That's crazy. 3+ saves. They become me. With more wounds. They just become me. Oh. That's funny. If they go that route, I'd have to go piercing. Most likely I go piercing regardless into this army. What am I looking at? So 6-man team, so kind of elite, and then 2 very scary dogs that can get to me and blow up. Yeah, I think I go Pierce into them. If I can catch the dogs, like, offhand and just blow them up, that'd be nice. It's one of those threats, though, where, like, I'd rather be killing the Rekka crew. I have good range, so there's potential into them. Playing the game of throwing smoke into mid and then sending a warrior onto mid so that it's obscured with its -1 to the first dice that I choose for damage reduction. Could be good. Smoke's different, though, now, right? It's not just obscure. It's like a reduced obscure. Not faction equipment, universal. Stun, explosives. Where's smokes? Where's smokes? There it is. Visible within 6. That's another issue because I'm so short. It's hard for visibility. Vanish terrain, visible. This marker creates an area of smoke 1 inch horizontally and unlimited height, but not below it. While an operative is wholly within an area of smoke, it's obscured to operatives more than 2 inches from it, and vice versa. In addition, whenever an enemy operative is shooting an enemy, or whenever an operative is shooting an enemy operative wholly within an area of smoke, weapons with piercing 2 or piercing crits 2 weapon rules down to piercing 1 or piercing crits 1. Unless they're within 2. So they just reduced the piercing potentials. I'm still fully obscured. What are we looking at for Pierce here? It's good, right? Or is it mostly Blast? It's probably mostly Blast. It looks like they have the ability to up to a Pierce with an equipment. Scary. This is the one I think that can kill itself. 2d6 plus 6. Yeah, this is the one that has the shot at killing itself. Da, 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 da. Six attacks on 4s. Complete possibility to utterly whiff your target and then kill yourself. And again, a fun target for the Hexorcist to be able to turn off Expendable and then kill it. Brutal Shock Smash, Brutal, Lethal 5 Limited 1 Detonate, Blast, no Pierce. That's not bad. I gotta start using smokes better. That's like the moral of the story. I rarely ever use smokes, and I need to start doing it. Smokes are so good. Smokes force enemies to have to come out. No, yeah. It's going to be very tradey between me and them. I hope my trades are better, though, because if I can grudge up, because when you have a small number of units like they do, putting grudges on them is just easy. Like, whatever their front line is, cover it in grudges. Whatever their back line is, start covering it in grudges later. This is why I'm giving my Hearthkin Thane a ranged weapon and a concussion fist. He's not going in early. He's gonna just keep dumping grudges for 2 to 3 turns on people. That way, when it comes time to wound them, piercing 1 ion weapons that I can up to 3 or 4 crits, potentially? Kind of scary. Just a little bit. Like, it's awesome that they have 12 wounds, but just a scratch stops normals, and if I quad crit you for 20 damage with a ceaseless hitting on 3s, rending grudge weapon from my gunners, that's not something you're getting out of. You're dead. It's over. So that's kind of the fun of it. Because the other issue is, yeah, it's a lot of hits, but it's still only 5-ups. And you can only up 3 of them to hits. So you're hoping, you're begging for 3 5-ups, which is pretty plausible. It's plausible. And then you just crank the other 3. I have decent armor, 3+. I can also convert crits down to normals. So it's not like the worst. Still though, if you saturate me fully with all 6, I'm pretty sure I'm just dead. Like, there's nothing else I can do about that. Even if I'm, like, in my deployable barricade for my 2+ save, like, it's still, you know, 12 damage on an 8 health unit. So, oh well. Very spiky. These guys, 3+ saves, 4+ saves, T9. I think piercing would still be the thing for them. There's one person that said they might do this. This is the person who said Jaegers, Blades of Cain, or Scouts. Recently, what's up? What's up, Akin? So recently, the person, when I said I was bringing Salvagers, someone was like, oh, we're going to have Salvagers and Jaegers in the same tournament. That's awesome. And then they said they're probably not bringing their Jaegers. So this person's either bringing these or the Scouts. Which, there's too much to think about with Blades of Cain. There's so much to, like, this is freaking insane here. So much. So much. Why are there so many? Striking Scorpions. Start next activation with operatives conceal. It cannot be selected. So super conceal on Scorpions. First time you strike with a crit. Till the end of that sequence, operatives melee weapons have shock. So crit with the ability to remove one of my hits. It's a small local. It's not a big GT. It's just a small local. It's 8-player. I was originally not planning on playing it because I did just get out of a straight up week of, well, longer than a week. It was like 8 days of 10-hour games of 40K. It was like 2 games for 5 hours each. Every single day for 8 days. I got home. I'm still having problems like waking up before 11. I'm so tired. And I was completely content just like being here and getting some work done and getting some painting done and doing all that. Like, we still have to finish my Raptors. They just showed off the cover for the new Kill Team book, which means the Raptor rules will be coming in like a month. So I kind of want them to be done for the rules so that I could maybe play them or show them off in a video or something. That would be cool. Or to at least have them before the next tournament. So that could be kind of fun. But I was also going to try to finish up. I'm expanding my Emperor's Children. Oh, nice. I'm expanding my Emperor's Children. I have 6 more Flawless Blades that were supposed to come in. I ordered them last week. They're not going to be here till Monday. So, like, can't really finish that either. Someone put the cover up on the Reddit. I don't think they showed the interiors or the stats or anything, but someone posted the what they usually post on the Warhammer community page for the cover. And that usually kicks off the reveals that are going to start happening for it. Which means most likely by the end of January, that kill team, it's either end of January or early February, the rules will drop. Let me see if I can find the cover for you guys. Oh, did someone pull it down? Was it deleted? I know I woke up and I saw the cover when I popped on Reddit. Maybe someone pulled it down. It was either on the Kill Team subreddit or it was on the Warhammer 40k subreddit. Yeah, they've got the PvE things set. I know one of the core things that's supposed to happen, because some of those are probably just tracking tokens. Because I imagine the sisters have a lot of like weird buffs and debuffs that go out there, so maybe having like different shape tokens is fine for that. And then I wonder what they're gonna do. Oh, we're talking about, they showed the book cover. Someone put the book cover online for the new kill team, Aachen. And since that's the case, it's probably going to be end of the month or beginning of next month. So I got to try to get my Raptors done. Strike and feed. Enemy operative while fighting or retaliating. No longer within 3 inches of enemy operatives. Charge that friendly operatives or change that friendly operative's order to conceal, and it can immediately perform a free dash. Okay, so hit, go to conceal, dash. It's fine. Till the end of that action, the weapon has seek light. That's scary. Who's this for? Oh, scorpions. It's not that scary then. It's okay scary. It's mid scary. As a conceal order performs reposition action during that action, operative can move within control range of enemy operatives, and you can inflict D3 plus 2 damage on one enemy operative it moved within range of. Ugh. Is this still striking? God, we're still in the striking section. Use this aspect technique during a friendly Dire Avenger's operative's activation until the start of the next operative's next activation. You can ignore any changes to stats. That's fine. And these are things you don't have to spend command points on. That's why I hate this army. They have like a separate command point tree that they just don't have to spend command points on. Aspect technique. Operative shooting Dire Avengers. You've rolled 2 or more fails. Discard one of them. Retain the other as a normal. Friendly Dire Avenger operatives performing the shoot action. And yeah, I think they try to keep it balanced because you want to have access to all of these at any point in time to be able to complete missions. So people usually do at least 2 backline shooters, the Scorpions for the extreme level of speed, and then the Banshees because Banshees are just good. Till the end of that action, that weapon has lethal 5. I have to catch these people is the problem. I have to be good enough to be like, oh, I got you. Let me kill like 2 of your guys. Because if I don't, I'm screwed. Was this the one that was elite too? Or was this the one that was like elite APL but still large scale? I think this was the elite APL with large scale. Yeah, so you get 8 people total, which that's average for Aldari teams. But it's the fact that they're all 3 APL. Whereas things like the Corsairs are 2 APL. Like the pseudo 3 because they get the free dash, but they're still 2 APL. These are kind of closer to Harlequins. Are they? Do they have invulns? Are they invulnerable? Where was I? We were out of the strikings. Operative shooting friendly Dire Avenger operative. You can roll 2 or more fails or obtain a success. Friendly Dire Avenger shooting catapult or twin shooting catapult. Oh, you get lethal 5. Oh, it's gonna hurt. Because technically in big tournaments, the troop is now out, I believe. They were part of Season 1. Torrent 2, that could be a problem. You must select a shooting catapult, shooting pistol, twin catapult for the shoot. Can perform the shoot during that action. This is actually a Harlequin troop ability, which I actually like. The idea of running between 2 points that people can't see and then shooting someone with a pistol. Friendly Howling Banshee operative is performing the shoot action. Use the end of the action. That operative can use the following ranged weapons. Shriek that kills. Saturate, Seek Light, Stun, Torrent 1. It's not that bad, but it's kind of funny. This is crazy. Howling Banshee operative is fighting or retaliating at the start of the resolve attack. Except we can resolve one of your successes. This is the strike first that Banshees are known for. Until the end of the action phase, can ignore all vertical distances. Oh, this is Harlequin as hell. Although the Harlequins aren't even this good. The Harlequins had what? It all costs. It was. I think it costs 1 inch. Now it's like it costs 2, or something. Like it. There's a single cost for climb, regardless of climb. And then drop doesn't count for anything. I think. No, they didn't do the no drop. I think drop actually like fully counts now. They did something with Harlequin mobility that made me sad. Cannot move more than its move stat if it's the charge action. My friendly Howling Banshee in the sequence. Immediately before free fall back. Oh, is this the strike with a critical, then stop and then run away? Yeah. This is Harlequin right here. I think that was like curtain call or something. Free charge action is the remaining move distance. First charge action. The operative can perform 2 charge actions. Yeah, double charge. So what do they get? Can only be used. Each aspect technique is in a category. Dire Avenger, Howling Banshee, Striking Scorpion. Each aspect technique can only be used with a friendly operative that has a matching aspect keyword, and each will specify when it can be used. No, stop that. Cancel. You cannot use more than 1 aspect technique per activation or counteraction. You cannot use each aspect technique more than once per turning point. If every friendly Blades of Cain operative selected for deployment has the same aspect keyword, you cannot use each aspect technique more than twice. Yeah, so this just spreads it out nice. Allows you to like deal a bunch of damage or do a bunch of cool stuff with minimal effort. 7 Blades of Cain. And then of course that gives you access to all 3 of these. 2 keywords. Oh, so it's whoever has most. So Dire Avengers are usually least, so it's Recon and Infiltrate. Which Recon and Infiltrate both have pretty good abilities for that kind of thing. 4-5 rending, scary mode. I can take 2 hits in melee on a full health. 4-5, 4-6, same thing here. They need to still be scared of me, because if I run in with my Nux, it takes 2 hits to kill me, on average. And then when I die, if I have another hit, I can take out your Exarch. Is kind of the situation. Because he can swing once while dying. Technically, it takes 3 hits for this guy to kill a Nux with anything that isn't a Biting Blade. Because the Nux reduces this to a 3. So if you only have normals, which, let's face it, that's not going to be the case. Howling Banshee Warrior. 4-6. Pretty good. Worse than hit stats. Ugh. Oh, I have to kill these in ranged. This sucks so much. Hitting on 5s. I don't have good built-in retreat either. That's what's crazy about it. Technically, this Banshee could run up to me, take me to 1 wound, probably suffer 0 damage in response, and just sit there. And I'm screwed. Oh. Oh, that sucks so much. I'm gonna hate fighting these guys. This won't be so bad, I don't think. Yeah, this won't be so bad. These guys, but like, they could run full Banshees into me and I'm screwed. Just get your Banshees on me. I'm not doing anything. My friggin' 5 up to hit, 3 attack plasma knives. I'm gonna hate every second of fighting them. They have 1 less body than I do. I don't think I beat these guys. I think I need a miracle. I need to catch whoever my opponent is with a move and a dash with my rocket launcher, and then if they have like a cluster of 2 or 3 people, that's when I get them. Like, I will trade 1 rocket for between 2 or 3 of these people. Because these aren't invulns, I don't think. This is scary. The Exarch with the 3s. Like, Exarchs with 3, very scary. But yeah, they don't have the ignore pierce rule like other Eldari usually do. I have 10. I thought they had 8. Yeah, they have 8. So I have my 10. They have 8. Still, the trades aren't good. I don't see good trades in my head. Their threat range is 9. My best threat range is 7 because I can't take the +2 when I jump pack. My okay threat range is 9 if I declare I'm not using the jump pack. But then what do I run into, right? Like, they have a front line of Banshees. I'm just going to be swinging with a power weapon. I think it's lethal 5 on 4s. I don't like any of that. Kind of hope they don't Blades of Cain. Or, yeah, kind of hoping they think twice about Blades of Caining me. Someone's going to Legionary, too. Because, again, this is a small tournament, so they don't really care about the, you know, whether or not it's in for balance purposes. I know most of Legionary. Legionary is going to be a struggle. I basically need to try to catch one of these guys out pretty easily with something that could easily kill it. Because 14 wounds is scary, but it's not the worst thing. It's kind of a question of whether or not... Like, I think my Ion Blasters would need to soften these guys up, and then my Gunners would have to just kind of finish them. Again, a core element is probably just going to be the smoke markers. So, key component, Grenadier with the double warrior brick. Usually a warrior helping him and 1 warrior up that you throw a smoke marker underneath. That way he can do objective things while on smoke.
How does plant banners work? So, like, the big play, like, genuinely the big play for me, the big funny play in mid is to rush this guy up, or not, whatever the mid point is, because not all mid points are in the center of the field like they used to be. But for the middle of the field point, to run this guy to just before enemy territory in a smoke cloud with these guys 6 inches behind them. And then have him plant the beacon just over the border. That way the beacon's in their side. He's on my side, standing on the objective. -1 to the first incoming hit of damage. Fully in conceal. Or fully in smoke for obscuring. In conceal. Best case scenario, piece of terrain. Right? Like, maybe a... Like, I gotta look up where I can place barricades, because I don't think they can be near mission markers. I have to double check all that stuff. Get back into the swing of it with Kill Team. I think that would be hilarious. Just one really good lockdown warrior. At worst case scenario, I put my deployable barricade, the 2+ save. So he runs into position with the 2+ save barricade. Smoke goes down on him. The banner goes up. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about that? Against the battle suits, you get accurate 1 into a guy who's concealed with 2+ armor. Have fun. This is technically Kill Team, I believe, 3rd edition. 1st edition was the one where you could build teams and squads and spend points and stuff, similar to how 40k worked. I believe 2nd edition was when they finally started doing like preset teams with a little bit of variance and a little bit of ability to change some stuff, depending. Some teams were very explicit, you have to take these units. Others were like, oh, do you want all warriors or do you want specialists? Kind of situations. 3rd is similar to 2nd in that regard, except warriors, I think, are now more interesting than they were in 2nd. Because warriors used to just be specialists without any benefit, right? Like, when you would compare a, let's say, like a butcher to a warrior, right? The butcher would be like, here's special rules, here's a bolt pistol and a better version of a melee weapon. And then if you looked at the warrior would be like chain sword, which was worse than this, a bolt pistol for the same stats, and then nothing. So why would you take the warrior over the specialist? Now, what they've decided to do is actually give warriors usually things that if you look at them and think about strategy, actually make sense. Like, the warriors are the only thing in Legionary that can change the benefit of their Chaos God mark. Each one can do it once per battle. So this guy could start the game in like Nurgle or Tzeentch or something for whatever reason to hold down objectives and maybe have better durability potential. And then when it comes time to like get in there and you've got your chainsword and you're like, oh, I gotta go kill something, you can switch to a corn mark. Oh, I need +1 to move. Let me switch to my Slanesh mark. Like, that's really good. That's great as a warrior. So like, there is valid reason to try to take maybe like 1, maybe 2 warriors, probably just 1 for Legionary if you want to try to maximize your benefits. Whereas I think Aquilans might not be that way. Oh no, Troopers are good. Oh yeah, Troopers have the better landing. And then the ones that are in can perform repositions. No, APL is the total amount of action points you have access to while playing. Let me see if I can show you. Reposition costs 1 AP. So if you have a guy with 2 APL, this goes into that bucket. It used to be that the AP... yes and no. So you can only use, unless otherwise stated, one of these actions per. So I can't reposition twice. I can reposition, and then I could dash, because those are two different ones, and they allow the use when others have been used as well. However, if you've used either dash or reposition, they say you can't use charge, so using either of these will prevent charge, and then having used charge will prevent both of these. There are, of course, units that get around that issue. But then you have things like fallback, that's 2 AP. So if you're a 2 APL unit and you need to fall back, that's all of your APL. The old system, the version 2 system that I've talked about on my channel, I have a whole video about how to play it. So what would happen normally is that APL 2 meant you would generate 2 points to then spend on things. The way they've described how this system works, however, is that this guy is a bucket, and that bucket is 2 APL deep. So whenever you decide to use an ability, the ability isn't like a cost as much as it is like a weight that you pick up. So your empty 2 APL bucket gains a single APL into it when you use a 1 AP action. So now you only have the 1 AP left in that bucket. The old system required you to burn through all of these in order to stop your activation. This is very key in difference to the new version, because when there's something like Overwatch or Counteract or something, I think Counteract is the way it's called now, Counteract requires you to perform an action to then trigger Counteract. So if I don't want you to counteract and you have like one counteraction, right? Or guard. Oh, it's guard. That's what it is. It's not counteract, it's guard. Guard requires you to do an action to trigger it. So if I don't want you to use your guard and I have one person left that you guarded just before, and then that my person goes and then you could shoot or something or whatever you want to do, and what I can do is I can activate my person and then claim that they are now done. Because I would, in the past, I would have had to have used the pass action, a total of however many APL to just burn through my APL, which would mean guard could trigger by me not doing anything. Whereas now, you can get around it. It's not always best to do it that way, but it is a thing now. But like, shooting for an AP is usually one thing, but then there's also usually a person. Where is he? Yeah, gunfighter. Oh, this guy just lets you... Oh, yeah. So this operative can perform a free shoot action. So, like, you get to do free actions. You get to... Sometimes there's, like, people who will be like, oh, yeah, if you do this one thing, you can do it again. There's these people who are able to increase APL stats on other people for a little bit. Like, there's a bunch of interaction. That's why I like Kill Team more right now than 40k. Because 40k is usually just, like, a couple stacking effects, and that's it. But the amount of, like, let me toss buffs here, let me toss debuffs there, let me sequence it right so I can kind of build up to one really big attack. Like, let me show you something. Let me show you. So, with Hearthkin, you get the grudge tokens, which is very similar to how Hearthkin would play. Kind of in 40k, but it's flavored a little differently. You can get fun concepts to occur. Like, if we're far enough into a game, and, you know, I pop out, this guy has, like, +1 APL or something, and I run out from somewhere, and there's, like, terrain chilling, I can pop out my full distance to, like, here. I can be like, I'm gonna shoot. So I shoot, and, like, let's say this guy has 2 grudge tokens on him. I have the enhancement that's going for the full round to increase my hit rate when I'm within 6 of you by 1. So now I have this 4 attack weapon. hitting on 3s, and I just, you know, roll it out. And so I got 2 hits here. The weapon itself has its own rules, which there's usually a lot of rules, ceaseless being one of them. Ceaseless allowing me to pick a single number that I've rolled. So if I rolled 2 2s here, I could roll both of these, but instead you can only roll 1. So I can re-roll that one into a 1. Don't have my box with me. Kind of mad. But these would be 2 hits normally, but because of the grudge tokens, they go to crits, but technically you leave them on whatever they are because those facings still matter. They become crit dice. So now this person has to deal with like crits and all that and just kind of crazy enhancements there, and like they have to just deal with so much nonsense. Had one of these rolled as a hit, the rending would have gone through, so it would have been 3 crits instead. And then because of the 3 APL bonus from like this guy earlier in the game, like he can then dash, whereas normally he couldn't. Like there's fun ways to just sequence these things, which makes it enjoyable. Oh, they lost their grudge? I thought they still had some form of it. Because I thought the whole concept was still about sending out units that were going to die and getting bonuses from them dying. Botan. Hostile acquisition. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets an enemy unit within range of 1 or more objective markers, add 1 to the hit. You can reroll advance or charge. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets an enemy unit, if the unit is in range of 1 or more objective markers you control, add 1 to the hit. They got rid of grudge? No. That was YP. Yield points. Okay. Do they have a grudge detachment? Sometimes when they change like that, they always move to a different detachment. Yeah, I know. I'm looking at stuff. Alright, Aachen. So yeah, I gotta think of stuff. So again, Tac Ops, I'm kind of liking Plant Banner. I'm kind of liking Martyrs. And I'm kind of liking Retrieval. If I think I can win, like, effectively, I think Retrieval would be pretty god tier, but I don't know. In 4 turns, I don't know if I can fully wipe out an enemy army in, like, a fast enough way that I'd be able to just pop all my Retrievals in turn 4. I don't think that'd be that effective. There's something to be said about Scout, though. I don't like that I have to stay in Conceal. That's not really on my, like, list of fun things. It's a difficult call. But yeah, I think I have to rely a little bit more on warriors than specialists. I think the 2 warrior, 1 grenadier combo is a good idea to try to go get some points. I think the full ranged Thane is a good idea. Because if he can persist until turn 4, if turn 4 is like kind of close and he can get into the fray, which it's going to be very difficult with the 5-inch move. I got to make sure like I'm not screwing myself over on distances. The fact that the Thane could still be tossing out more grudge tokens all the way through turn 4 and then just run in and punch something for 7 damage. That's pretty good, in my opinion. This is probably the most like sit back character. Like this guy and the Thane will probably be on the back objective. And then the gunners are just going to have to be positioned for the forward and even the distant objectives. There is value in swapping to the dozer depending on who my opponent is. The old custodian kill team was 4 guys. And they had to keep nerfing it because it was too strong. And then they kept nerfing it. And then everyone was like, oh, it's unplayable now. And then someone, I think, they did 2 of the shield bearer ones. And then the half list of Sisters of Silence. And they were like winning tournaments with it. Because the original system was that every single one of the custodes were like 4 APL. And that, just 4 guys with 4 APL. Just being able to run around and just kill whatever the hell they wanted while being near invincible. No. It's too good. Way too good. I'm trying to think of good times to use the other. Like I have the Commsman, and then there's supposed to be the Locator, and I think the Cognitar, like the scanner for better shooting potential. That guy might be good in Vulcus. And then the one that gives me the free rerolls. I don't know. In Tomb World and Galadark, I would think about dropping this guy. Even though he has a 7-inch move normal, I would maybe think about dropping him. I don't know. I don't know if I can sacrifice that. The second one is so that I can continue to go in. The second one just sits with... The whole idea is that the Grenadier and one of them sit back. And then one of them stands on point in smoke from the Grenadier. On point, basically. For maximum potential of just like, you can't hit me kind of situation. And then to have a second throwaway for turn 2. Because if I can kind of force 2 throwaway moments. Because here's the thing. If I go with any of the other guys instead of the second warrior, I don't think I get enough of a bonus. And then on top of that, I also have a second one that's playing up. I could arguably see replacing the one with the other that gets the free reroll of either an armor or a hit. But I don't know if he's that important. What was his stuff? Oh no, I got a lugger. Boop. Always lugger. Scout cards don't work anymore. So getting an extra deployable for free with a guy who can also do a free mission action, 100% worth it. Especially in a team where you have to take either the digging tools if whatever you're doing involves picking stuff up. Like if there is at all a pickup action involved in anything you're doing, you need a lugger. Well, you need the digging tools. And then if you're playing in Vulcus or you're playing in Beta Decima, you have to take the climbing gear or you're screwed. So what was the other ones? Kinlink is the one I'm leaning into as a constant because they did change it so that he can APL anyone that's an ally on the field regardless of vision. I think was what it said. Yeah, visible to and within 6 inches of the operative is what it used to be. Now it is... Select one other friendly operative in the kill zone. So, no longer visible, no longer 6 inches. Just straight up mark a guy in the kill zone for an extra APL. Oh, yeah. So, that's why he needs to be in. He's your backliner. He just chucks an APL out while sitting on your back point. So, you're thinking I might need a Cognitar and I might need a Locator. But the Cognitar is a warrior without the damage reduction. And all he does is he chucks out a 3-inch aura of either reroll 1 hit or reroll 1 defense dice, depending on how you do it. And then you have to spend an action point during the activation if you want to change it. I could see it. I could see maybe doing that for a Wombo combo. If it's like you're playing into, let's say, Inquisitorial Agents, and I have my Missile Launcher or my Grenadier playing decently up, so that maybe he already has an action point on him. He could easily move and dash to get in a position of like 4 enemies, and then I just drop the reroll 1 hit dead center of them, and I go first. Game on, bro. Except for the fact that Inquisitorial Agents have Chastise. So if they notice that, they can go, oh, well, we're just going to mark your Grenadier with Chastise. Good luck AoEing us. Like, it's not good. I would need him and the Missile Launcher to be within a good range. So, like, the Cognitar is interesting, but I don't think he's worth, necessarily. Like, he's okay, but he's not worth, compared to having a -1 to damage guy on a point. And then the Locatar, I hate the Wombo combo he provides. It's good, but it's literally you having a character who, just like the action point guy, has to send that power elsewhere. Like, you already have one that's doing it. Now you're asking me to have 2. So, because like this guy for an action point does the whole seek light and cannot be obscured to a target within 3 of something he's visible to. He has to select a visible enemy operative, and then allies within 3 of this guy get that bonus. If you really want that to work well, you need to take the comms so that it's a 9-inch range, I believe. Is comms +3 or is comms +6? I feel like it's +3. Comms. It's +3. So he'd have a 6-inch aura around him he provides to his allies to then give Seek Light and cannot be obscured to a single target. And then on top of that, he can place a marker in the kill zone. And any enemies getting shot within 3 of it, you gain Accurate 1 and Saturate. Maybe. Like, foregoing Spot, I think, could do it. Like, if you're just, every time you activate him, you Pan-Spectral Scan. Because Pan-Spectral, that's like the big brain play. Because you would, well, anti-obscuring isn't as big as someone just being in cover. But if you Pan-Spectral, like, let's say, the middle objective at the end of your last turn, and then I think it's this guy, and then he just like chills somewhere, right? Like, if he's not going to be a key target for trying to help out or do anything extra, then I guess, because then as long as he doesn't go again until the next turn, that middle objective is now a deadly area that you don't want to go to. And I guess the anti-obscure is more about... that is more about anti-smoke. Maybe. I don't think you have both on field. I'm definitely leaning away from the guy who gets the little aura effect of free reroll for either hit or defense dice. But I could see dropping maybe one warrior for this guy, depending on who your opponent is. If my opponent is heavy on something like throwing smoke grenades and stealthing, maybe I go this guy instead. I don't know, it still feels a little too big brain. Because it would really be about just dropping the Panspectral on the center line objective. And if anyone moves to it, like, they can't go to it. My plan to smoke a warrior onto point while sitting in a deployable barricade for the 2+ armor save. That goes out the window if someone's like, oh, I anti-obscure. And technically it doesn't because of the 2+ armor save. It's like, alright, that's cool, whatever. But if somebody else is planning on doing that, like a Rekka player is planning on chucking smoke in middle and sending one of their boys onto it, maybe this is useful. I don't know who else would use it. Inquisitorial agents, maybe? Throw smoke on one of the shield bearer frickin' subductors and just like chill near mid. I don't know. I know we're going to be dealing with Beta Decima, but the on-floor stuff for Beta Decima is weird, because if you're shooting through the footprint of a of one of those crosswalks, it's just that they're not visible on the other side, to my understanding. It's not that they're obscured. I think they tried that again where they called it obscured, but then everyone was like, no. They were like, oh yeah, that's fine. When selecting a valid target for an operative on this kill zone floor, an intended target on the kill zone floor is not a valid target if 4 inches of hazardous area is between them. When selecting a valid target for an operative on vantage terrain, an intended target on the kill zone floor is not a valid target if the footprint of a gantry is between them. Yeah, so that's not obscured. Oh, you want to see the most updates? I think it's Warp Coven and Hyrotech. Hyrotech didn't even get a chance to fly. I saw Warp Coven's rules and I went, Warp Coven's broken. And that's what we got for like the first half a year or like a quarter of a year. But then while everyone was going, Warp Coven broken, I looked over at Hyrotech and went, holy crap, Hyrotech is just as broken as the Warp Coven and no one's playing them. So when the Warp Coven got hit, I was like, oh, here comes the Hyrotech. But then Hyrotech got hit just as hard the same day as the Warp Coven. Like, it was preemptive. They took them out. They were like, no, this is also too good. Stop that. When selecting a valid target for an operative, the same is also true in reverse. An operative on the kill zone floor to an intended target on vantage. However, in both cases, ignore the footprint of gantry. Features, the operative is in the intended... Wait. Ignore the footprint of gantry terrain features the operative or the intended target is on or in. So as long as you don't toe into the footprint. Okay. In both cases, use targeting lines to determine if hazardous area or the footprint of a gantry is between them. So people on the top floor ignore the hazardous area 4-inch, but then footprints come into play. And nothing is considered obscuring in Beta Decima. So even there, the anti-obscuring tech is like whatever, a little bit. What we read about some of the teams that are coming, no one has like a built-in like, oh, I'm going to guarantee that I'm obscured situation. So I'm also not worried there as much. I don't know. I either take 2 warriors so that I have 2 waves to go to middle, or I take 1 warrior and anti-obscure guy so I have some tech on the midline that can maybe screw with people. Because that could be the thing for him. He pan-spectral scans the middle objective. Let me just set this guy aside. Like, let's take a look at kind of... Let me grab the tokens. Yeah, but Nemesis Claw I'm not fighting with. The only one I could think of is Stealth Suits, but Stealth Suits, their main thing is I just can't target them if they're in Conceal. Yeah, if they're in Conceal, I have to be within 3. Outside of that, there's really nothing that's like, oh, you're obscured. Congratulations. But yeah, the core gist, if I don't have terrain that's within 6 of the centerline objective... Like, the combo would be, like, objective, on center line. Heavy barricade, maybe? Depends on ranges. I don't think you can get a heavy barricade within 6, right? Because you can only go, I want to say, 3 or 4 over midline. They changed it because it sucked a lot before, and then they kind of fixed it. Where the hell did my phone go? Heavy barricade, wholly within 4. Let's take a look at the maps because the squares count. So 1, 2, 3, 4 would put it there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 should take it to mid. That's still viable. You go right to the line on 4. You could even pull it back a little bit if you want. You have the pan-spectral about there. 5, 6, 7, 8. If it's 8 from line I should be able to, like, let's say we don't do this turn 1. Let's say we prep it for turn 2. And, like, this guy's kind of here, this guy's kind of here. The gist... And let me check this, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Where can I put this? Two inches from equipment, terrain features, access points, and accessible terrain. So at -2, cannot climb before the operative moves. Remove the portable barricade. Set it up. Portable barricade set up. 2 inches of equipment, terrain features, access points, or accessible terrain. So if that's the case, a lot of this is going to require good measurement. Because the whole idea, right, is to be in control of this. It's engagement range. So it's the 1 inch. So 1 inch off of here. But also, beyond the 1 inch off, I need to be able to get within 1 inch here. Like, I need to be able to go, like, over 1 inch. So, like, this would be, like, here. I would then need to measure 6 inches to here, so that the Grenadier could be kind of, like, there. Or be able to pop out. Because turn 1 complete kind of looks like this. A little bit. Hopefully there's terrain nearby so they don't all have to be packed in behind here. But turn 1 complete would be this plus... I would drop... Oh, it has to be an actual token, that's right. Can't be one of my cool tokens. I would drop a pan spectral scan. I would also need my smoke grenade icon. So I would drop a pan spectral dead center of 1. Turn 2 goes, and my the sequencing is weird. I would really have to hope. Maybe, like, I'd have another barricade, like, off to the side, so I could have, like, a midpoint. To have a rotational barricade. Where one of these guys could chill. But the whole hope would be that I could throw a smoke grenade here. And then move up. So I would have to be able to do a move. If I do it as like a move dash potential for maximum distance, he would have to have +1 AP starting from turn 1. Because then he could go here. At which point... I would drop a banner. And I could hold off doing that till the end. If I really felt like it. So most likely Grenadier here, this guy here. Because this should only be 6 inches, which means move dash, and then plant banner is through, up, plant banner. Because then in this moment, this guy has a 2+ armor save from anyone on this side. In smoke, so fully in conceal for at least 1 activation in the following turn, where I could then throw another smoke grenade and then maybe even do a smoke grenade and then do The RX? How far does the RX go? Well, not the RX, but the support grenade. I should probably trim these. What time is it? Okay. We're still good. We got a little bit of time. The Vire 3 utility grenade. Within 6, so I could throw it just next to where the smoke is. So I could throw a smoke, throw the Vire. Whenever an operative is within 3 inches of this utility grenade, its controlling player must spend 1 additional AP for pickup actions and mission actions. So if there is a mission action on that objective, I could play it pretty well. I mean, if this barricade is up a little bit, if I could throw the Vire, basically I have to measure this side of the barricade to be 6 from here, which is not a good spot. But at the very least, him being there and keeping the pan spectral up on the objective does what? Oh, anyone that gets within... Operative is shooting an enemy operative that's within 3 inches of that marker. The friendly operative's ranged weapons have accurate 1 and saturate. Because then hopefully nearby I have like some gunner coverage. How far can the regular barricades go? I do like this barricade playing up because this is just within deployments. Or, oh wait, is it within deployment or is it within... If it's within deployment zone, this is screwed. This is cursed. No, wholly within my territory. So that's fine. It's just territory, not deployment. What about regular barricades? What am I looking at? Because most likely I'm going 4 up to 5 for equipment. I have to go all 3 barricade types. And then depending on what mission and map we're doing, I gotta play it up as like climbing potentially or the digging tools. Maybe if my opponent's bulk melee, go the plasma knives. If there's enough terrain on the field where I'm okay with a heavy and a portable, then like maybe we only do those 2 and then figure it out with 3. Because like Vulcus has enough terrain that I shouldn't need to carry, or I shouldn't need to care too much beyond like a heavy and a portable. The only question is if we're not doing horizontal setup. If we go long edge, I need to see some stuff. Hang on. Because that's open. So like midline here is 1, 2, 3, 4. The heavy could go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the portable there or something. That could be fine. But then if we do it on this variant, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is nowhere close. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I feel like the bulk of the fighting would end up being like here, but there is value in me having a really tight-knit center here. There's a doorway through this side, which sucks. I need peak potential over here. I'd probably need to take over this top bit. Climbing equipment would be important. Most of my gunners would probably end up here, at least 2 of them. Third one might be over here. Oh, this is a struggle bus. I would personally want this side. That's even if this is the map. Because I can make it from here to here. So I can use J. As cover. Although I think J might be light cover. If I go, so Vulcus is 3-inch height, so using climbing rigs makes it 2 universally. If I go ladder, I either do climbing rig to be able to do more in more places, or I do ladder because I have one thing I want to do. I could see ladders being better. I could. But ladders also hyper-focus my movement. Also, it doesn't say anything about your opponent not being able to use them. So technically, if you have ladders, you're helping your opponent as well. Because it's when an operative is climbing. Maybe ladders, because you get 2 ladders. I could see doing ladders instead. I'm trying to think of what the hell the climbing rigs would really be worth using then. Like, what's the value in a climbing rig versus ladders? It doesn't help you with barricades. I guess it's very specific types of terrain. I don't know. Oh, would it be... I think... It would be barbed wire, right? Where's barbed wire? Razor wire adds an inch. Oh no, it really wouldn't, would it? Because it's still 2 inches to go over. It treats the whole move as an extra inch. That doesn't help with barbed wire at all. That sucks. Yeah, I guess ladders would still be the thing. Beta Decima, though. So Vulcus would be ladders. Beta Decima would be climbing equipment. I could see the Panspectral. I don't know though, because even if this Panspectral's here, the whole point is because I want the person to charge, you know, into me over here and then kill me. And then I guess that's the point, because then they're +1 grudge token, accurate 1, saturate. They do help on the 3-inch parts, but if there's only one place I feel like I'm going, right? Like if there's only one stronghold where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go that way, then does it really help? Because on some of these maps, like this map where you can start here and then go to the 3rd floor, like it's no problem, right? You just need the one ladder there, and then maybe a ladder on this side so that you can come up over here. So like start here, run up ladder, 3rd floor. Start here, have a ladder here so you run up, and then next turn up and over, and you're just up top. Whereas climbing gear is just so much more necessary on Beta Decima, because if you're going through a floor, it's accessible, so that's +1 to the climb, -1 because of climbing gear, and they're all 3 inches tall, so you're just always going 3 up. Or if you're not going through the floor, then you're going 2 up instead. Still sucks. I'm not looking forward to play. Like, to be clear, considering stuff like this is fun, because I think it's going to be like one of those fun little like, oh, you didn't know I could do this situations, right? Where it's like, oh, you're a shooting army? Blah, enjoy not being able to deal with me. Come to middle. Do it. I dare you. I've got guns elsewhere that'll end your existence. Do it. But like, that's fun. That's fun to think about. I don't see myself in top 3 in this tournament. I don't. This is like every time I take an Emperor's Children list to a 40k Rogue Trader, right? Go to the Rogue Trader tournament with an Emperor's Children list. You are fighting for not last place. Fighting for it. I think the last tournament I went to, I got like 5th from last. Which, better than I expected. Let me look up I'm gonna look up, see my stats for that. Oh, best coast pairings. Why? Why do you make me sign in all the time? I've accepted cookies every time. I've told you not to sign me out so many times. No, don't tell me to sign in. Oh god, is BCP broken? Okay, it's not letting me actually, like, I log into BCP. It says, all right, cool, we're going to log you into the app. And then it doesn't do it. God damn. Dude, I hate BCP so much. Is there no way to see my history? Yo, what did they do to BCP? I go to my events, and it's like, yo, you have no current events that you're signed up for. And then I go, cool, past events. And it goes, you are registered to see your 10 historic events. But it's not showing me events, and I've definitely been to at least, like, 15 or 20. Why is BCP broken? Recent reviews are all 1 star. All I want to see is my score. Come on, BCB. Come on. You've logged me into the account on your website, and then you won't let me log in. Okay. I'm gonna figure that out later. Yeah. Not expecting to win is key. My main thing is I want to try to be fully rested before this tournament, because I am dead tired. Still to this day. But I do think this is kind of funny. I do think trying to put someone through a situation of deal with a 2+ armor save in obscure, reduction of Pierce 2 to Pierce 1, guy standing next to a banner, first attack that you put through, -1 to damage. I still like that idea. And depending on how I feel about the terrain on a map, I either do, like I said, the triple barricades. What's up, Taco Man? And then maybe figure something out for the last 2. Most likely, if it's melee, if the team I'm fighting is decent melee, I might go plasma knives. And then figure out that last one. What's the limit on barricades? Is it the same as portables? Is it just anywhere in my territory? Yes, they are Votan. This genuinely bothers me that I can't... Oh, hang on. So in territory, 2 inches away. I think this is still good for mid. If there's a spot I could put it for mid. If not, then I just have to deal with it. And then this is 4 inches within territory. So it's a lot to think about. That 4-inch one. Where is ITD? Because, yeah, ITD... This is not... Visibly, this does not show me the actual distances. If my opponent is Seek Light, this becomes difficult. But if not, you would just do a regular barricade and then the portable barricade. So you could kind of pile in this way and then go. Yeah, access points because doors are considered access. The trick would be if someone else takes a barricade and chucks it down on the line close to the middle objective, it keeps my barricades away. But then I could just use theirs, and it's whatever. It's going to be a struggle bus, though. 5:20. No! I gotta get moving. I got 10 minutes before I gotta head out. Interesting talk. Fun strategy concepts today. Fun ideas for stacking. Fun things to think about for the team. I'm still not fully sold on going pan-spectral instead of another warrior. But pan-spectral is probably fine, so long as I do have the one warrior to throw to mid. Could be good. Either way, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for talking. Monday, I do get my 6... Hopefully it's earlier, but it'll most likely be Monday night. I get my 6 Flawless Blades, so Tuesday we'll probably build those on stream real quick. Depending on how Tuesday goes as well, we could probably start painting them. I did just buy all the paints that I was running out of, so I have the stuff I need to be able to paint my Emperor's Children. So we can finally get them back up and running. And I can maybe attempt to actually win a tournament with a squad, which would be nice. Although it probably won't happen. Everyone in this area just plays meta as hell Space Marines and Tyranids and Eldar. It's super annoying. Till next time, guys. Later.